This is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile Park here, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com on another glorious day outside. The sun is shining, the Mariners are winning, and all is right with the world. We got our buddy Ryan Roland Smith sitting in with us today, which is going to be an amazing show. But how do we top this? How do you kick off a show with the GM of your Seattle Mariners, your first place Seattle Mariners, your playoff bound Seattle Mariners? It's hard to top it, but we're going to do our best. We got Justin Hollander here with us. How are you, man?
If you had like Hal Raleigh on that, might be better. Anybody who's actually on the field contributing to good things would be better.
Hey, do not minimize your contributions, okay? I said it to you last night. I said it to you before the show. Congratulations, and I don't know. Give me your feeling last night. We saw each other right before the Naylor hit last night, and not feeling great about how the game was going, and then he comes up with a moment that I think people will refer to like the Cowell home run that sealed it in 22 and things like that. But when that happened, what were you doing? What was your reaction?
So obviously I went ballistic, in our little booth next door. And I think the thing that always hits me when good things happen in baseball, and Ryan can attest, winning is hard. It is really, really hard to win a game in the big leagues. It's hard to win 80 games. It's hard to win 85 games. It's hard to win 90 games. It's hard to make the playoffs. The emotions of 6 months of a baseball season, you're playing well, you're playing poorly, you're sometimes doing a little bit of both. Like it's really hard, and you think about all you have to overcome in a baseball season, injuries and performance and emotions, and we're good, we sink, we're good again. That's what went through my mind is, wow, this is hard, and we should celebrate tonight because it's really hard to win.
Yeah, Justin, it's a great point. The fact that, and we're seeing this around baseball too, especially with the Detroit Tigers all of a sudden, the Guardians, and what's happening with this wild card. But I want to going back into that series in Houston, that 3-game series, which was, in my opinion and a lot of people's opinions, the most crucial series. I'm not going to say in Mariners history because then people are going to start pulling away like 1995 and all this. But in the
start correcting you.
In the last decade, there wasn't a bigger series than that, if I can think of any. Right? I mean, do you believe in when it comes to momentum and generating some kind of momentum, or some of the little things, call it magic, whatever it is, going into a series like that?
I'm not a big believer in momentum. Momentum is as good as you make it out to be. I think momentum is about controlling your own emotions and going out and performing really well. I think this group is really good at that. I think we were at probably our low point after the first game in the Atlanta series on the last road trip, and there was all this nonsense about they can't win on the road. This team doesn't have what it takes inside to win the tough games. I think that's all a bunch of garbage. Like, momentum is as good as Julio being able to hit a homer in a way that nobody else can and change the tide and let everybody relax a little bit. So, I don't think there's a magical force that, pushes baseball players or athletes or people one direction or another. But I do think there's the ability to slow the game down. I talked about it the other day, the ability to downshift and just let your talent take over. And some guys are better at that than others. And I think we have a group right now that's really comfortable with who they are. And I'm not a big believer in I looked in his eyes and I knew everything would be fine type thing. I just don't think anybody can really do that and is that good. But I did feel really comfortable going into Houston, just the vibe around our club, that we were going to play really well. I didn't have the expectation we'd sweep and kind of dominate for 3 straight games for the most part, but I just felt like they looked like they were ready. There wasn't an anxiousness. They just looked like they were ready to show that, they were better for that 3 games. And it doesn't mean we're going to be better a week from now or 2 weeks from now, but I think it proved to our own guys that, there are no giants anymore. We are one of the teams that other teams look at and be like, oh man, we got to play the Mariners this weekend, instead of us, people thinking about the Mariners is like, oh man, the Mariners have to go play X team. Are they going to be okay handling it? I think that's sort of the difference between maybe this team and how we've handled things in the past, is I think that they know they're good.
So maybe you don't believe in momentum, but do you believe in I'm looking at that Houston series. We were talking about all the great things that happened, and this was the key, and that was the key. To me, maybe the biggest thing happened in Julio's first at-bat.
Yep.
Hunter Brown, who's going to be in the finals for the final conversation about Cy Young, right? That's their ace, and we're going, oh, boy. He hits it out of the park in the first inning, and that building goes silent. To me, that was as big as anything that happened in that series and kind of set the tone and took the air out of the building. Am I overstating?
No,
how
I
big that
think
was?
that's right. Like I don't believe in a mystical force, but I do believe in mental skills and psychology, and I think that sent a message right away that we came to play. And we have a really talented group, and I think they've known that. And after we played them in 22 in the playoffs, they had multiple members of their organization, both on the staff and the front office, say we were scared to death. Like those 3 games, we feel like were the hardest 3 games we're going to play. Like we have no doubt we're winning the World Series now that we got through this series. We didn't think we were going to get through it. So I think when you're going up against somebody who's good, that they can beat you, and I think that sent a message right away that we're ready.
Back to that game and that series, Brian Wu. Obviously, you gave an update yesterday about him. Seemed pretty positive. And that's why it's huge to get that bye round. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
About the fact that you get that extra breathing room. But talking about Brian Wu, and I feel like he just went on another level after that game. Yeah. What has he meant to this team? And 2 parts to this. What's he meant to this team this year? Everything he's done. First time going 6 months, a 6-month April through to September. And also, too, just an update in regards to if he's going to be okay come postseason. Yeah,
sure. First of all, what he's meant to the team he's been our rock in the rotation. He and Luis all year long, and Brian's level of consistency this year start out to go 6 innings every time out, like literally every time out for the first 5 months of the season is, we're talking about he's doing things that people haven't done since Cy Young. And that has meant a ton to us. I think somebody has put out really creative, sort of stat breakdowns on what our bullpen has done the day after Brian pitches, because it's usually only 2 or 3 guys pitching the next day. It's usually a win. And so everybody's a little fresher. Everybody's a little more well rested. Baseball's just a different sport than the other sports, and that the starting pitcher does set the tone and control the game a lot, but he only plays once every 5 days. And so for us to have that stopper all year long, the guy who can go up and dominate whoever he's playing, and do it in a way that's really unique, does set a tone for us. It has all year. So I can't speak enough positive words about how far Brian has come. People forget that Brian basically had not pitched in his life a whole lot after high school. Barely pitched in college, had such a fast journey through the minor leagues that barely pitched in the minor leagues, and he's learning on the fly all the intricacies of the game at the major league level. That's really hard to do. He's very unique, and the steps forward he has taken both in the clubhouse, on the field, his preparation, his routines is just, I can't put it into words. It's unbelievable how far he's come in such a short time. In terms of an update, Brian's probably, he's probably not going to pitch this week if I had to guess now, knowing where we are. He's definitely not pitching tomorrow. That's for sure. And then we'll take what is hopefully the bye week. We have some work to do, but take the bye week and get him ready to go pitch in the ALDS, which we anticipate him being ready for.
Getting to Josh Naylor, I don't know if you're aware of this. The fans love him.
Me too. I hope they're aware that I too love him.
Yeah, and we were promoting you were going to join us today, and one text after another was, tell him they've got to re-sign him. He can't leave Seattle. Do not let him get out of here. I'm sure you're aware and probably have the same feeling. Do you even have a discussion like that at this time of year, or is that something you wait till the season's over? What's the mechanics of something like that?
We'll wait till the season's over. I think everybody's focus is on one thing, and that's us and him. It's on trying to win the World Series this year. I don't think there's a need to cloud it with contract talks or things like that. I'm sure we'll have conversations when our season ends. Hopefully that's very late October, and we have some celebrating to do first. But I think Josh really likes it here. We like him here. He couldn't be a better fit in every way, on the field, in the clubhouse. His baseball IQ is off the charts. His personality, his edge, his grit, his sense for when to do certain things in the game. It's just all top of the scale. It's a great fit on our team. We've loved having him so far. I hope he's here a lot longer.
Are you surprised by what we did an interview with him, I don't know, a month ago, and I don't know if you heard it, but I said to him, hey, this is thought of obviously as a pitcher's park. And he goes, really? And I thought he was messing with me, but he was serious. And he goes, I think it's a hitter's park. I think it's easy to hit here. And his numbers back that up. And I, for the life of me, couldn't think of somebody from the outside who ever said anything like that about this park. Is that, how unique is that A, he feels that way about the park, and B, that his numbers here back it up, because he's hitting like 350 here since he's come over.
I mean, he's always hit well here, even before he wore our uniform. That was not a surprise to us. I never really talked to him about what it's like to hit here or anything. Obviously, he didn't play for us. I think he just sees the ball really well here. Different guys see it well in different places. I saw an interview on one of the Fox games of the week last year. I think it was with, I think it was Paul Konerko. And they asked him what his favorite park to hit it in, and he said Seattle. I love seeing the ball in Seattle. It's probably not a common thing, but there are guys in the league. Mike Trout's always seeing the ball really well here. That just see the ball well here. There are some guys that don't, and obviously those are probably more prevalent than not. But Josh has always performed really well. I think our team was so excited when we acquired Josh, because all they've ever seen of him is just raking wherever we play him, and that's. I think immediately there was like a buzz, like, wow, we got a real guy in the middle of our lineup because of what we've seen first person.
Justin, take us behind the scenes, man. How do you prep? You have a situation where it looks like as things are rolling out, you get that bye round. You're looking at the Guardians, Detroit, as it stands right now. How does the organization, in regards to advanced scouting, prep for this? I mean, do you send out extra people? How does all that work, prepping for the ALDS?
Sure. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. We got to do some stuff first, and I want to make sure that we do those things, and that over the next 4 or 5 days to make sure that we do have that, we win the division first, we get a bye, hopefully. Like, we need to do things. So I don't want to just assume anything. Baseball is weird, and a lot of things can happen. In terms of just how we scout, we have a pro staff that during most of the season is evaluating professional players at all levels, more for acquisition than they are for advanced scouting purposes. Most of the advanced stuff we do is in-house on video. We have Sam Reinertson, who's our director of advanced scouting, and Jeremy Silverman, who's our assistant in advanced scouting, along with a data strategy team who pours through all the info. They'll do the primary work in season. When you get to the playoffs, we merge that with live looks. So we have scouts in every ballpark right now of teams that are likely to be in the playoffs. More focused on the AL than the NL right now, but we'll have bodies in every ballpark advancing already. And they're sending daily updates through our advanced scouting department. And then once we get into series time, they'll send all their info, whether it's tendencies, whether it's live looks and how guys are throwing it or swinging it lately. Like, we'll be fully prepared.
When you look at the run this team's on, and it's been tremendous. I mean, you got one tough night for the bullpen that keeps you from having a 16-game winning streak right now. What do you attribute that to? I mean, we know they're talented. The talent is there, but it wasn't. You talked about the rough road trips and things like that. What do you attribute that streak to?
I think there's an extra level of focus right now, and you're seeing the best version of a lot of players at once. I don't think there's a switch that you can turn on or turn off. If there was, we would do it a lot more often.
Yeah, just leave it on.
Yeah, exactly. It's some combination of this team sort of gelling all at once with the new acquisitions, guys fitting into their roles, a bunch of guys having really good Septembers. There's a little bit of luck involved too. The previous homestand when the Angels and the Cardinals were here, we won some close games, and there were opportunities for us to win those games and lose those games, and guys made plays when they had to make plays. Some balls were hit right at people on the other team's end, and we had some balls right at people, and that's kind of how baseball works. Like, nobody's good enough that you can just reel off 15 out of 16 just because you're good. You have to get a little lucky too. But I do think there's an extra level of focus and intent right now from our whole group, and they're really coming to the yard every day, really focused on today. What do we need to do from the time we walk into the clubhouse to the time we go out on the field to give us the best chance to win today? And even games where maybe we haven't played as well for the front half of the game, like last night's an example, finding a way to stay in it to give yourself a chance to win late in the game.
Justin, your bullpen, you look at it, right? You look at Bizzardo, who career high in innings was, 25. He had a shoulder issue, what was that, last year?
Yep.
You have Vargas, who barely made the team out of spring training. The most he'd thrown was like 4 with the D-backs a couple of years ago. He's approaching 70 games.
Yep.
Gabe Spires had this resurrection this year. The velocity's back. And I know you probably sit there and go, well, in spring training, I knew that was going to happen all along. But are you kind of shocked to look at how you've bridged the gap to get to Munoz?
Every year I'm always surprised at what happens in Major League bullpens. I think that's, baseball is a really humbling game. I think anybody who's been around it, and Ryan, you can attest to this, like how many guys you played with where they just had the worst spring training you've ever seen, and then the lights click on in the regular season, and it's like, what happened to this guy? Where did this guy come from? And I think that's more prevalent in any part of the team or on any part of the team than anywhere else than in the bullpen. I think it's a confidence position in a lot of ways. You go out and you start feeling it that you can go do that job over and over again. You get in a rhythm, and you're talking about small pockets within a game, 3 outs here, 3 outs there, where if you execute your pitches and you have talent, you can get on a run. And every year we see guys that, fans always talk about, that guy really emerged out of nowhere, Justin Topa or Paul Sewald. Now it's Bizzardo. Like, those things happen in Major League bullpens when you have talented guys and you have good coaches and good process. And I give a ton of credit to Trent Blank and Pete Woodworth, Danny Farquhar, Tony Arnerich, our staff downstairs, along with our analytical and data staff upstairs led by Joel Furman. They do a great job of trying to maximize the skills that each pitcher down there has and put them in positions to succeed over and over and over again.
How do you watch a game?
Nervously.
But I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan when it comes down to it. So on the road, I'm in front of the TV. or I'm like, what in the world are you? I'm screaming at the TV. How do you have to keep everything in perspective? So when they're struggling like they were on the road, what are you like? What are you doing?
I'm shockingly similar to that. Embarrassingly so. I try not to be. I try not to ride the highs and lows, but I'm a human being. Like, it's very, I think it's very normal to react at times when you have so much invested in it. I don't want to embarrass myself, but I will just to tell the story. On the front end of that Atlanta trip, we had Cleveland and Tampa, and things didn't go our way. We're up 4-0, 5 minutes into a game. We lose a game. We had some bad luck and some balls that hit the chalk or, didn't get calls or whatever. And at one point, I think it was during the Tampa series, my son, who's 10 years old, was sitting next to me, said, "Dad, please stop swearing so much." So it happens, you try not to lose it, and especially in front of an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. But we have a lot on the line. We have a lot invested in it. Thankfully, my family's pretty tolerant of watching all the games and riding the highs and the lows. And occasionally an F-bomb comes out when you're watching.
Hey, but Justin, I'm not going to lie. So we were sitting in Kansas City. Me and Goldie were sitting here, and to my right was, I guess it was the GM's booth.
Yeah.
So I kept every time something happened, I kept glancing, watching these.
You see him standing, cheering, or
oh yeah, just fully invested. And then I'd be like,
awesome.
I'd look away and be like, yeah, okay.
I think people are well aware that some things have happened in Kansas City over the years when we've been there.
Right.
I usually don't go on that trip. Jerry DePoto's family lives in the area, so he typically goes and spends the series with his parents, or his dad in particular will come watch the game with them, and it's a great time for him to connect. Obviously, being the last road trip, I jumped on. So that's it. I haven't witnessed sort of the horrors of Kaufman Stadium in a long time. And it was definitely a nail-biting series. And when good things happened, I was very excited about them. Try not to let it out that bad things are happening. We were going to lose the game at some point. I didn't think we were going to win out like the 2007 Rockies or anything. But, yeah, it's I think it's healthy to express emotions. I try not to take it out on anybody when it's happening. But, yeah, it's, I think that it's not me to sit there stoically and not cheer or not be disappointed when things don't go bad. And this is, I think, my 19th year doing this. And you just can't fake it. You can't hold it all inside and pretend to be someone you're not. I have worked with people who are that person, who are just flatline. Whatever happens, we're out of control, and it's fine, and I'll just move on and shrug my shoulders. I just can't be that way. It's not. I don't feel good about it. So you will find me jumping up and down and cheering when things go well, and you'll find me, throwing my phone occasionally or like getting frustrated, and you got to be who you are.
Yeah, 100%. I'm wondering, for you to see what Naylor's done or what Gino does and seeing where this team is there just a personal feeling of satisfaction? Like, look, we put these deals together and look where this team is now based on those deals.
Absolutely. I would love to lie and say, no, you don't think of it in those terms. But when you make big deals at the deadline, you put a little piece of your credibility and a little piece of yourself on the line, and you want them to work well. Someone asked me, you brought it up earlier, like the fans really will want Josh Naylor back next year. And it's like, that's awesome. I would hate to think we acquired a player and like 45 days into it, our fans are like, get this guy out of here. He's horrible. So like that's like a true sign of success of feeling good that, not just our fans, but our front office, our players, our coaches are all in on the guys we brought in because they've made such a difference both on the field that everybody sees and off the field. Absolutely. I'm invested in it. And anybody who says they don't look at what the players that you traded do is also lying, because everyone does it, including me. And, it's not that you root against them. You just want to know if you gave up something good that you got something good.
Justin, getting to the postseason, for this team to have a deep run, what are the key? What's the formula for this team besides the obvious? Go and score runs and pitch well. But like, what's the formula for this team as you're looking at them to have that deep run and who they're up against?
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot because I've been asked this a lot lately. I think a lot of people, and I don't want to start like a baseball culture war, but I think a lot of people say, oh, you got to like move runners or you got to do the little things, and you do. The teams that win in the postseason hit homers and they get awesome starting pitching and high leverage bullpen guys step up. Like that's what wins in the postseason almost every year. There's occasionally a team that like has the magic wand that hits a bunch of singles, but the pitching is so good in the postseason. You think about you're getting the best teams in baseball, you're getting the 12 best teams in baseball. You're getting the 3 best starters for the first round, or maybe 4 best, depending on how the schedule lines up. So the 4 best starters from each of those teams, and call it their 3 or 4 best relievers every day, over and over and over again. So, like, I don't know if you guys watched the Tigers-Guardians game yesterday, but you're getting Tariq Skubal and Gavin Williams, and both those guys are, like, sitting on 99 with just unhittable breaking balls yesterday. And then you're getting the high-leverage bullpen guys. You're getting Cade Smith throwing 100 with a nasty splitter coming, and that's every day in the postseason. So the idea that you're going to string, like, 5 hits together and you're going to, like, steal bases all over the place with traffic, what you can't do in the postseason, you can't walk people. You can't make mistakes with runners in scoring position, and you can't have short outings by your starters where you have to expose the whole staff over and over again to long outings from your pen. Quality starting pitching, quality at-bats, taking walks, hitting the ball hard in the air. Like, that's ultimately what wins in the postseason. I think we're well equipped to do that. I think we have elite starting pitching. I think the back of our bullpen's really good, and we have a really diverse, deep lineup that can hit the ball out of any ballpark and can present problems for pitchers, whether left-handed or right-handed, whether they lean on secondary stuff or lean on the fastball. I think we're pretty diverse in that way.
The one thing that I heard just about every player who spoke to the media last night say is, they're all celebrating. It's great. We got more work to do.
For sure.
There's more to do. You said as much. So everybody understands, and I like that they're in that frame of mind. But do you allow yourself to picture what it would be like to have a World Series game here in Seattle? I mean, you've seen how berserk these fans go and how loud this building gets in regular season games of consequence. Do you ever allow that to enter your mind? Like, if we're in the World Series and we've got games here, what it would be like?
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Like, just being honest, like that's, when you're tired of doing the thing, that's a thought that gets you untired of doing it, is how cool it's going to be here if we can do this. And I think this team is capable of doing it. Will it happen? I don't know. Like, I think we're talented enough to do it. We play the game the right way in a lot of ways to do it. Like, we have a lot of the components to do it. I hope that happens. I can't wait to see it. I think this place will be bonkers if it does.
This city will explode.
Yeah, and I think I know our fans deserve it, because they've gone a long time without seeing playoff baseball, without experiencing an LCS, and they obviously never experienced a World Series. They deserve it. We would love to give that to them, and I know our players would too. I think that's one of the coolest things about this team, and I think people have seen that over not just the course of this year, but over the last couple of years. They've watched these players grow up, and I said it last night, we have 28 awesome people. Like, they're great baseball players, but there's 28 really good dudes who care about each other, and they really care about the fans and this community and making an impact and making a difference, both on the field and off of it. Like, you won't find a team very often that doesn't have a dude that you're like, he's just okay or whatever. We have 28 awesome guys, and I think it's really cool that for the most part, our fans have watched them grow up together. They've watched them break into the big leagues. They've watched them succeed and fail and have to change and adapt and learn different ways to do it. If they follow them off the field, they've watched them get married and start to have kids. Like, they've grown up in this city. They love it here, and they love these fans, and I know they desperately want to give them a lot of October moments this October, and they would love to hold up a trophy and hang a banner at the end of the day.
We had Jamie Moyer came in the third inning. I was looking up and thinking, hold on a minute. Last time they won an American League West, Jamie Moyer was pitching, and Dan Wilson was behind the plate. I mean, you think about that, right? How long it's been to get that American League.
I mean, my son said this the other day. And you know my son, because Kennedy, Ryan's daughter, and my son Elliot went to school together for a few years. So Elliot is 10, and he said to me this morning, wow, 2001, we won the division, Ichiro's first year, and now we have a chance to do it this year when he goes into the Hall of Fame. How cool is that, Dad? So it is. It's been a long time. Dan, Edgar, Jay, guys that are around the team a lot now, are sort of like you're seeing a second career or a second version of those Mariners, and it is really special.
Before we let you go, I got to ask you about Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
Look, his performance speaks for itself. I would assume you believe he's the MVP based on playing a premium position and what he does. How much do his words carry weight with you? We always hear about how he verbalizes, "Hey, here's what I think we need to do." Is that something that sits with you and you take to heart, or how does that interaction go for you guys and Cal?
It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Jerry. It means a lot to our organization. Cal has earned the right to have be a valued voice and what we do and how we do it. Does that mean we just do whatever Cal wants to do? Of course not. And I think he understands that. He understands he has a job and a role, and we have jobs and roles. But he's earned the right. And I know that Cal spoke out a few years ago about wanting to win, and I think that we all want to win. And he was frustrated at the end of the season, and no one ever would want Cal to apologize for wanting to win. Cal puts his money where his mouth is. He does the things every day you need to do to win. He's definitely the MVP in our eyes because he does things that nobody else does. I don't think people really understand, and I apologize for repeating myself, but the mental and physical toll that position takes is just different than anything else that anybody has to go through. It's not just the foul tips and the squatting and the bruises and the extra things from a physical perspective that you have to go through. It's the mental toll of preparing 13 guys on a staff to go pitch to 13 other hitters that night, to push the right buttons. Now I almost said put down the right fingers, but push the right buttons, and then have to live with the consequences of the decision that you made every night, and then compartmentalize that, and then go switch hit and go hit 58 homers so far this year. It's an unbelievable thing. It'd be like, Sam Darnold playing middle linebacker for the Seahawks on Sunday. Yeah. It's just it's totally different than anything that anybody else does in any sport. It's crazy that he does this. And, there's a scenario, I hope it's not the case, but where he plays 159 games this year while doing it. That's nobody does that. I think he's in the top 3 in the American League in plate appearances as a catcher this year for the most part. So, he's the MVP. He does a ton for our organization that people see, and he does even more that people don't see. And he definitely has a valued voice.
Let's hope the 30 voters out there keep all of that in mind.
I hope so. I'm guessing it's going to be really close. And that's I've said this all along, there's not a bad choice. Aaron Judge is awesome. I think Aaron Judge is unbelievable.
But he's a right fielder and a DH.
It's not an anti-Aaron Judge opinion. It's a pro-Cal Raleigh and what he means to our team, the Mariners, and where he fits in the scope of players today. I'm biased, and I'll admit that. But Cal is so unique in what he's doing that I would have to vote for Cal, and I hope that 16 of the 30 voters agree with me.
Yeah. Justin Hollander, GM of your Seattle Mariners, you should be proud, man. Congratulations on the season.
More work to do. Seriously,
there is
a cliche. We are very proud we were in the playoffs. I hope we can check another box tonight. There's a lot more we want to do this season. So come out, cheer for us, listen on the radio, watch on TV. Hopefully we have a lot of stuff going over the next month.
Well, give yourself a moment to soak it up, man.
I had that last night. I want to go do it again tonight.
Justin, we appreciate you, man.
Guys.
There you go. There he is, the GM of your Seattle Mariners, Justin Hollander, talking baseball with him. It's a big game coming up tonight, a lot on the line. We're going to talk about all of that. Meanwhile, it's Washington Wednesday. We're going to learn a little more about the Huskies' opponent, the #1 Ohio State Buckeyes. Joey,
my alma mater.
Who are you pulling for?
I cannot lie. I'm not rooting against my alma mater. I'm sorry to all the people out there. I may have just lost all of the good vibes.
We're going to have to ask you to leave the booth. Joey Kaufman of the Columbus Dispatch will join us next here as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Rowland-Smith in Seattle Sports on 710.
It's why we love sports. Those certain moments, the ones we talk about for generations. Moments like this one.
Deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. Here comes Julio rounding third. He'll score. 3-run double by Josh Naylor.
A win tonight, and the Mariners are division champs. M's and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
It's another beautiful day outside. This is motorcycle weather, and I'm getting out on that bike as often as I can before it changes. And I know a lot of you are doing the same thing. I get the text from you guys talking about riding, where you're riding, what kind of bikes you have, and some of you checking in talking about injuries you've sustained because of motorcycle accidents. Now, if you're one of those, if you're somebody that's been injured in a motorcycle crash and you're talking to law firms, do not settle for a firm that tells you that they're motorcycle lawyers. You got to trust the ones who actually live it, and that is Law Tigers. The fact is they've been a part of the riding community for nearly a quarter century nationwide, and when you get involved in an accident, you're looking for help. You're looking for direction and answers, and often that people aren't there, not answering the phones. They're not available. Well, Law Tigers are there 24/7, 365 days a year because riders deserve real support when they need it most. And the Law Tigers are the resource riders can turn to when they are in need. Now, you see them out at all of the events. They support all the clubs and shops. You see the tents, the vans, the billboards. They're everywhere. They're ingrained in the riding community. The Law Tigers are always by your side. And your case evaluation is completely free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid. And on top of that, they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced because they know how much that stuff means to you. So you never ride alone with the Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Washington Wednesdays is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Washington Wednesdays, presented by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
It is Washington Wednesday. How about that? Huskies are in action against the #1 team in college football coming up this weekend. We get a chance to get a closer look at what they're in store for. Joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline is the Ohio State football beat writer for the Columbus Dispatch. Joey Kaufman is with us. Joey, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. It's this is a big one. I don't know if Ohio State feels like it's as big as the Huskies do. What do you think is the perception just from the outside? I'm curious of this Husky team.
I think a lot of people are considering this a big time matchup for sure. I mean, it's Ohio State's first trip out to Husky Stadium since 2007, and they have played obviously a big monumental game to start the season in facing Texas, which was #1 at the time. But because it's the first Big Ten road game, because it's the first time they've faced Washington since it joined the conference, and I think because of the Huskies' fast start with all the playmakers they have on offense and the points they're putting up, I think it's really gotten, I think, most people's attention here in Columbus.
I'm curious, and you talk about the opening game against Texas. Obviously, that was a huge game. 14-7. What have you learned about this team? You know, when you face Grambling, you beat them 70-0. You face Ohio 37-9. I mean, obviously you win those games. That's great. But what do you walk away with after those games? Is there anything you say? Okay, now I know this about the team, or those kind of games answer any questions at all?
I think they gave Ohio State a chance to see what it had, maybe a little more in Julian Sain at quarterback in particular, because Texas was a situation where you have a first-time starting quarterback who is only a redshirt freshman, and you have a defense you trust. And they were trying to win that game in a style that was almost akin to Jim Tressel when they played Tressel ball at Ohio State. Field position, time of possession. It's okay to win without all the style point and the usual sort of downfield passing that is so tied to Ryan Day's time at Ohio State. But the games against, I think, Grambling and Ohio really put Sain's arm talent on display, and you could really see what Ohio State has in its young quarterback.
Well, and I mean, there's a lot of youth on this team. Obviously, you know, youth in the way of playing time, and your running back in Bo Jackson, just 18 carries, 217 yards, a nice 12.1 yard per carry average going into this game. And you got Donaldson, Peoples. I mean, the rushing. Is this a season where the emphasis was going to be on running the ball, or was it more of a okay, we're going to lean on that, see what the young quarterback Sain has to offer, but we've got this running attack we feel is really going to carry the load?
I think it's in some ways the opposite of that. I think a lot of people, myself included, came into this year expecting Ohio State was going to want to really air it out. Yes, Julian saying is young and has only thrown a handful of times in a college setting, but when you have Jeremiah Smith, who's probably considered the best player or most talented player in college football and all that, and you have Carnell Tate, another guy who's, I think, a potential 1,000-yard receiver on the other side, and then you bring in Max Clare as a big-time transfer tight end from Purdue. You look at all that skill talent on the perimeter, and you have to figure you're going to be able to throw the ball, and you have to think that you're going to be able to generate explosive plays. I think the running backs were so inexperienced in their own right, especially someone like Bo Jackson, a freshman who had never carried the ball before at Ohio State. You wondered what kind of spark could they provide you, and I think in recent weeks, especially with Bo Jackson, showed you that they can make some big plays out of the backfield as well to maybe be a little more balanced on offense.
What is the expectation for a team that comes in off the heels of a national title? Is it, all right, you better get back to that game, or it's a lost season, or it's a disappointing season? It seems like it raises the bar to an impossible level, but what's the expectation of the team this year?
Oddly enough, I don't feel it's national championship or bust in the same way it was last year. And maybe you could say that every season at Ohio State is national championship or bust. But certainly I think the expectations, at least compared to what they were a year ago, where it felt like you had so much upperclassmen back, that was your nucleus, and it was a window of opportunity to try to win it all, especially with the staff construction as well, with Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles. I think the pressure is a little reduced this year. I think if you were to poll probably the Ohio State fan base at large, most would actually pick a win over Michigan over a national championship if they had to pick one or the other. I think that's so much of what this season feels like it's riding on, is can they get back on the winning side in the rivalry? They've kind of checked the box of a national championship in the Day tenure. Now can they beat Michigan, which they have not done since 2019, his first year after replacing Urban Meyer.
Hey, last one before we let you go. We're just in looking at this team again. It's only been 3 games. So, but is there what's one thing you're looking at, perhaps, that you're saying, okay, they need to clean this up, or this needs to improve if they're going to get to where they want to go?
There has not been anything glaring really on either side of the ball that, oh boy, that really looks like an issue. I think just with this matchup in particular, I'm curious how they look against an offense that really seems multi-dimensional. I think coming into this season, we thought Arch Manning at Texas was going to be the best quarterback that they faced, and then when they dealt with that challenge, I think you really started to think this Ohio State defense could be as good or better than last year. So I think just how do they do against an offense, I think that in a quarterback that probably brings more to the table than what we saw from Texas, just all the things that DeMond Williams Jr. can do in the pocket and moving in and out of the pocket. I think that style of quarterback play you see so often, and how do they really handle that? I think this Ohio State team feels like it's a little bit of even though they have a pretty big win at the top of their portfolio with a win over Texas, it still feels like we haven't really gotten to see this team tested against true competition in a little bit. So I think I'm just all the things that we think they do well, passing the ball, running the ball, getting stops on third down. I'm curious how that holds up against a much better, more formidable opponent.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Can't wait to see it. Joey Kaufman, Ohio State beat writer for Columbus. The Columbus Dispatch has been our guest here on Seattle Sports on 710. Joey, thanks so much for the time, man. Really appreciate it, and enjoy the game this weekend.
Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. Again, there's Joey Kaufman. A little preview of the Huskies' next opponent, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Meanwhile, there are key series playing out around Major League Baseball that are going to affect the Mariners' path through the playoffs. We'll get into all of that coming up next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Rowland-Smith, and this is Seattle Sports on 710.
Playoff berth? Check.
Here she comes, swing and a miss, strike 3. The Mariners are going to the postseason.
We in this thing, bruh. The Mariners' magic number 1 to clinch the American League West pennant.
And the fans are going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Tonight, the Mariners and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, a lot of you have heard Dave and I talking about our aches and pains that we've accumulated over life. And Dave, most of his are a result of football. He was paid very well to do that. I paid very well to accumulate my aches and pains in 14 years of jiu-jitsu, which led to some injuries and dealing with a really bad hip issue that I had a torn labrum and a frayed tendon and some arthritis and the bursa sac inflamed, all these different things. And I'd heard Dave talking about Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, heard all the testimonials from people that had gone through this process and avoiding surgery, which is what I was facing. So I went to go see Dr. Wagner, and he had all my info, and he was very upfront about the entire thing. He said, look, this doesn't cure everything you've got going on, but it will dramatically improve what you're dealing with. So rather than go under the knife, let's go for it. We did it. I could not be happier that I did it because surgery is no longer part of the conversation. I'm able to do the things I was doing before, and it's just a complete turnaround for me. So if you're somebody that's facing surgery, perhaps wait on that. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. This is a guy who knows exactly what he's doing. He's been doing it a long time. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. So people with osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back to doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, it's a shoulder, a knee, an elbow, ankle, whatever you're dealing with, before choosing surgery, do what I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Imagine homes so well designed and so luxurious, they'll be setting the standard for decades. You're imagining a main view home. Now imagine a main view home on sale, saving $50,000 to $120,000.
Isn't that what Brett and Amy bought?
Yeah, it's a main view, and they saved a bundle.
What are you doing?
Looking at the Mainview website. It's now or never.
What's better than a Mainview home? A Mainview home on sale. Mainview communities across the Puget Sound.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling September 29th. Free Good to Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game Sunday, October 5th. Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds. Do it every day, September 23rd through September 29th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. The home of your playoff-bound Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Rowland-Smith in right here, Seattle Sports on 710. A reminder, we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks' 50th season celebration game on October 5th, and all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab. That's simple to find out how. Now, if you don't already have the app, here's what you do. Just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We're going to send you a link to download the app. It's completely free. You can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, September 29th. But having all that in mind, let's take 2.
Home field has been huge to what the Mariners are doing right now. M's have a 9-game home win streak, second longest in franchise history, only to the 11-game win streak they had back in 2001. Now, a win tonight at home, well, it extends the home win streak to 10. It also clinches the AL West. That, or an Astros loss, Houston has a 7:05 first pitch in Sacramento.
Mariners got to handle their business, Ryan. Look, you're going to take the division however you get it. But the idea of, I was just thinking, what if they drop the game tonight, but the Astros lose? So you're celebrating, you won the division, but on a night you lost. They got to go out and just handle their own business and win this game, right?
Yeah.
As a player, is that something you would be focused on?
For sure. I thought about this, in the second, third inning last night against the Rockies, where you have that huge series in Houston, happy flight home, everything else, and all of a sudden you're in the driver's seat. You can take your foot off the gas a little bit. And I think with this is going to be interesting because if they do get that bye round, this is a team, and I know Justin Hollander talked about he didn't believe in momentum. Love the bye round because you get to clean up some of the the niggling injuries and Brian Wu and everything else. But, man, you want to keep that little bit of that momentum. So this is important. And then, by the way, when you get to that Dodgers series, even if you've wrapped everything up, do what you got to do to get this absolute launching pad into October.
Yeah, you don't want to enter the postseason on a loss.
No.
Or losses. Or
no,
whatever.
or all of a sudden, you're second-guessing something, you swing or whatever. Or on the flip side, you know what, Gino? Not picking up that breaking ball? What's the little trigger or key or something I can do to grab to take into October?
The Tigers' full-on collapse is complete. They lost a first-place lead, the AL Central, last night after the Guardians win. Cleveland tied with Detroit right now, and Cleveland has the season tiebreaker. Game 2 of their series starts shortly. Now, if the Mariners are the number 2 seed, they play the winner of this likely Detroit-Cleveland 3-6 matchup.
You have a preference between those two teams? I feel like they match up better with Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you're getting a Detroit team that's just feeling down and lacking. Their fall has been steep,
unbelievable. And just again, not to dive into last year, the contrast in they sold off at the trade deadline and then they just went on this surge, and that made them tough to match up against in the postseason. Even with Tarek Skubal back, he had that issue with his side where all of a sudden he could be down for the postseason. I looked at that and said, if you don't have a Tarek Skubal, you've got nothing right behind that. And Justin Hollander talked about how important the 3+ starting pitchers you have. You match up 3 of our starters versus Detroit. I'm talking about Casey Myers or Jack Flaherty right behind Tarek Skubal. It's going to be tough sledding for them. I think they match up really well against the Detroit Tigers. And then on the flip, again, momentum with Cleveland. They're pitching really well, not giving up any runs, plus they got this surge going on. I take Detroit out of those two.
Yeah, I will happily root for the Tigers in that scenario. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Well, it was another defining moment for a guy who has become one of the greatest trade deadline acquisitions in Mariners history. We're going to talk about that as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Roland Smith in right here on your home for the playoff-bound Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
How complete is this Mariner team right now?
You know, we have a story coming out on ESPN.com. I think it's tomorrow. First question, what's the boldest prediction you've heard from an MLB executive or scout? Passett, the Seattle Mariners are going to win the World Series. If you just objectively look at what the Mariners are doing right now, they've had the best offense in Major League Baseball in the month of September.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm fortunate to speak with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer in February. Dave Wyman here, joined by Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host. Tim, how did you hear about Swedish Cyberknife?
Well, it was this familiar-sounding voice on the radio telling me about it, and so I thought I'd investigate that. Everything I heard was what I wanted to hear, and so I reached out.
What's it like to go through the Cyberknife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's, they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It's just a matter of listening to music in headphones and trying your best not to move.
Looking back on your Swedish Cyberknife experience, what stood out?
It was too easy. It was just too easy. I went through it, and I just went, that's it?
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If you use the carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good-to-Go account, you'll soon receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included, for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners get back to it tonight after a tremendous win. It started out poorly. It was not a good game to get things going, but they pulled it out in the end thanks to Josh Naylor and a bases-clearing double. Their magic number is 1 to lock down the AL West. They have secured their playoff spot, but they can win the West with a win tonight or an Astros loss. Hopefully the win will be what happens tonight when they send Luis Castillo to the hill in Game 2 of this series with the Rockies. You can catch it all right here, starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We are live at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us today. And I'm not sure if we're going to catch up with our guy Adam Ray or not. I think we're trying to get him in the building, but security's tight around here. You got your security detail that says, look, you don't access Mr. Rowland-Smith.
That's true.
Without going through the proper screening, and I don't know that he's able to get to
Well, that's
that.
what he's running into right now. There's about 4 or 5 of my guys outside, and
hey, what did, in talking about this game last night, we haven't really had a chance to get into it. It was, let's be honest, it was a dreadful start.
Yeah.
Dreadful. I mean, it was just, we saw, some bad defense, some bad throw from second from Polanco. Gino boots a ball at third. They're striking out left and right. That guy, McCade Brown, had 5 starts coming into the game last night. In those 5 starts, he had 11 combined strikeouts. He struck out 10 last night. 10. Yeah. They were just, did you look at it and say this team's pressing? They know it's on the line. Did they look like they were just?
No, I thought it was the opposite. I thought, they're kind of caught on their heels a little bit. And again, going back to, and this is not something that once you get to October that you are going to deal with, but this is what you want to try and avoid or, cut it off quick. In other words, you go into last night's game, you kind of have, let's be honest, a little bit more of a cushion. The Astros are now all of a sudden chasing you. You're sitting there thinking, well, we've got plenty of runway here to take care of business, not only to get to the playoffs, not only to get the bye round, not only to AL West. I know I'm, being pretty presumptuous before that game, but in that dugout, you're sitting there thinking, well, we're playing the Rockies, and at some point the hit's going to come because that's what we've seen for the entire month of September. Let's be honest. Hit's going to come. You kind of caught on your heels, and then McCade Brown. By the way, look, he's 6'6", steps across his body. He's a tough matchup. Right, like to face. If he can land some of those pitches in the strike zone, he's tough.
Yeah, 9.17
Absolutely.
ERA coming
First
in.
5 starts in the big leagues. But the difference, the problem with him, when you look back at his numbers, and I was watching this last night, I go, oh, man, if this guy can find that bigger breaking ball in the strike zone, he's going to be a problem. In that second inning. The first inning, he had some huge misses. And I went back and watched some of his prepping for the game last night. And I was like, man, this guy's going to walk the house. Big misses. Not just, hey, like just trying to be too fine or pitching away from contact. No, it was just flat out, I don't know where the ball's going.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you saw that in the first inning. And you're thinking, here we go. Second inning, he didn't leave the strike zone. And you're like, oh, man, again, if he can find the zone with one of those secondary pitches, he's going to be a problem. 96 with movement. And I was sitting there going, man, you don't want a situation where he just comes in, has the start of his life, probably his last start maybe, or maybe second last, to finish off the
season,
year.
Yeah.
That dugout down at third base, and same thing goes tonight. They have a completely different list of priorities as individuals compared to that first base dugout. They do not expect to come in here and just roll over, especially from an individual standpoint. So McCade Brown is out there going, I am going to turn it on here and absolutely do everything I can for 2026. And that's what you run into sometimes. And they're running into that. Yeah. Now, it took them a long time. And by the way, I said this during the game last night, a team like the Rockies, when you talk about beating bad teams, expose those weak links. The weak links were what? The bullpen can't throw strikes. 30th in every category, and the big one, throwing strikes. And that all of a sudden came to fruition there. You could tell. 2 outs, hit by pitch, walk, that J.P. Crawford at bat. And that's what good teams do. So, yes, it was an ugly game early, but you know what? A situation where you can take that breath and get back to being present to what you're facing, and you're facing a couple guys in that bullpen that cannot throw strikes, and you exposed it. And then all of a sudden, Naylor comes up. There was no magic in that. He had a 2-0 count. He'd already seen the fastball changeup. He's like, throw me a fastball, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do exactly that. And
it was out of the zone. It was up.
Right. Well, no, it was kind of middle.
Was it top rail? Did it?
He went. See, the thing was, he threw a fastball that missed by 3 feet.
You're right.
Then he threw the changeup. He was like, okay, I've seen the first time I'm facing Vodnik. His name was first time I'm facing you. Left on, right on left. Fastball changeup. That's how you're going to try and beat me. I can pick up your changeup now. Throw me another fastball, and I'm finding outfield grass. And that, again, that's what those good teams do, and that's why there was something about last night, as ugly as that was, those little moments, are some of the things you should be getting excited about going into. This team there is no team they've had in the last X amount of years. I'm not just saying this because they go in the postseason, better equipped to win those games, what Justin Hollander talked to us, the home run ball, the bridging the gap in the bullpen, and elite starting pitching.
Well, and last night, to me, really emphasized the cliche. I hate cliches. This team never quits. There's so much fight in this team. But you know what? Last night kind of showed, like, they're never out of it. As bad as it, and it felt bad. It was.
I did.
I talked to you about, and we talked to Justin about it. I saw him in the bathroom right before, as that pitching change was going on, and we were both kind of going, this is ugly. Cal said it after the game. He goes, man, that was some bad baseball. But then they find a way. They grind. That's what good teams do. When they're off, when they're not in rhythm in any sport, they find a way to grind it out, and that's what they did. So they did reinforce the cliche of this team never quits, and there's a ton of fight. Let's hear the final call from last night, clinching this playoff berth.
Mooney ready. Looks in, get the sign. Munoz, the 0-2 on the way to Karros. Here she comes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Mariners will play in October. Cal Raleigh with the underhand toss to Naylor. The Mariners are going to the postseason. And the fans are going crazy here at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners will play games in October. They make it to the postseason with a come from behind 4-3 win over the Rockies here at T-Mobile Park.
It's just gives me chills. I mean, just being at the volume, just, we'll get into Naylor in a moment, but, I was happy for Dan, because Dan was a guy, we had a chance to talk to him, before spring training and everything, and just, I was telling him, like, man, I'm so happy for you, but I don't want to be in a position to criticize you, man. I love Dan. But, and this year's been kind of tumultuous at times where, we get fans texting in and on social media, Dan's not ready for this. He's showing his inexperience. What's he doing? And now you fast forward and they're in a position to win the division for the first time since 2001 with him at the helm. Yeah. How much as a player do we put too much into what a manager means to a team, or are we not giving him enough credit? How much do you give him credit for what we've seen during these 16 games?
A lot. I give him a lot of credit. Now, first of all, you mentioned spring training. Here is Dan Wilson, who has kind of the gold card around here. Let's get real.
Yeah.
People love him. He can come in and out of that broadcast booth, and he could go in there and talk about his weekend playing golf, and people just want to hear that because he's Dan Wilson. He's someone who just gives off that vibe of he's someone who I respect. I really like. He's got all the memories attached to him with some of those really, some of these really good years.
Plus, he's the everyman. You feel like you know him.
Right.
Like he's your buddy.
Absolutely, yeah. And by the way, behind the scenes too, that's how he is.
Yeah.
When you interact with him. Now he goes into the situation last year. You're coming off Scott Service gets fired, and it's pretty hostile at that point with what's going on and where's this team heading and all this kind of the leashes are getting a little bit shorter. Here comes Dan Wilson, steps in. And then you've got the first full year, and I was with you. I was like, okay, look, you already have this perfect relationship with the fan base, the ownership, and everything. If this goes south, how is that relationship going to be after that?
Yeah.
So that's number one. That's why, looking back, I'm like, man, I'm not saying it's risky. I'm not saying he wouldn't be allowed in the building again. But you know what I mean? It's just things change. But there's a little
gold card revoked.
yeah, give me that gold card back. Now, on the other part of this is too, okay, what's his best attribute of everything we just said? As a player, in 160, other sports are different, 162 games, 180-something days, and you're traveling to a different city every 4 days, or you're here for whatever it may be. Now, in 2025, you have a whole, just like other sports, I get it, a whole staff, support staff around Dan. But what's his biggest attribute? It is the relationship with players. It is that feeling where you can go into his office, or you can approach him and speak your mind. He talked about Cal Rawley, right, who's one of the leaders on this team, who was very vocal about everything the last couple of years, and I guarantee he's still vocal. So he all of a sudden unlocks that biggest attribute and is the relationship with the players. Now, some managers have that big attribute to make that the best call when it's talking about bullpen management.
Right.
When to steal bags, whatever it may be. Well, they've done a great job with that, right, in regards to, the bullpen. Look at the bullpen success they've had. Insane for some of those players. But Dan's biggest attribute, and you might think, well, why is that a big deal? It is everything, because you're in a 6-month situation. You're in each other's back pockets, and there's just the ebbs and flows of these seasons. You want to try and stay even keel, and that's something that Dan Wilson provides, along with all the other baseball acumen. And by the way, again, last time they won the AL West, guess who was behind the dish? It was him.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Here's a bit of what he said in the clubhouse before the celebration got underway.
Everybody in this room, a tremendous amount of gratitude for all the hard work that's gone into this thing. All season long, you guys have worked your tails off. Everybody in here. We talked about it in spring training. It's a journey up the mountain. We're now one of those teams that earns the privilege to finish the course all the way to the top, boys. And it starts tomorrow. Let's go!
So cool. And Cal is the face of this team, along with Julio, and the season he's having is we can't say more about it, but he talked about just the feeling the team had going into that 8th inning based on how they were playing prior to that.
Yeah, we played really bad baseball there for 7-8 innings. It was terrible, and even myself, not coming through in that moment, you want it bad. But that's what you got teammates for. And that's what, we have each other's backs. And, like I said, it's a different guy every single night. And, we were able to stay in the game, credit to him and credit to, us going and getting him at the deadline. It's huge. And that's a big difference. A big difference in our season and our team as well.
That's excited, Cal. That's more animated than you're ever
by the
gonna
way,
hear.
hey, he still has to give an official apology in the dugout for what he said on Root Sports last night.
The dropping the F-bomb?
Oh, yeah.
I think there are going to be shirts made with that.
I'm sure there will be.
That saying is that moment's going to live in infamy, man. That was great. One more from Logan Gilbert. Now, Logan talking about a conversation that they had in Tampa that he feels turned the season around for him.
We kind of had one of those meetings in Tampa, and we didn't turn it around right away, but we had, I think, the conversations we needed to have, and people knew that we needed to step up and that we had the team to do it, so there was even more urgency to get it done. And a few days later, a week later, whatever, we kind of started that crazy run and hopefully keep it going.
Have you certainly over your time in Major League Baseball, there were some team meetings, player-only meetings. What is that like? Is it the leader of whoever it may be saying, all right, everybody gather around, and it's an impromptu thing, or hey, get here at this time because we're all meeting? How does that go?
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Team meeting, be there, whatever time, and you kind of hope. Well, I mean, not necessarily. If Dan Wilson runs it, great, but you kind of hope there's input from players because, they're the guys you're going to have to look at each other in the cage, in a bullpen session, whatever, and you want to have that kind of communication. So they're really important. But the thing is with them, there's so much uncertainty. You have these meetings, and they can go in another direction. In other words, you can have these meetings, and not saying you're worried what someone says, but all of a sudden it's that sense of panic as opposed to what it's intended to do.
Right.
And just press the reset button. But I think I said this when they were in Tampa Bay. I said this is the perfect time for them to. I said we talked about it. Get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Right now, at the beginning of September. Why? Because you get out of those August dog days. I'm telling you, the end of August is the worst time in a season. I know for me is having to go hard, adrenaline-filled, 100 pitches, and then good or bad, the next day, having to pitch again, and you got to keep that cycle. You get to the end of August, like, I've got a whole another month left? Man, like I'm cooked.
Yeah.
And mentally, it's exhausting. Three-city road trip on the East Coast. It's hot. You Tampa Bay outdoors, the whole bit. And so I think that was the perfect time. We talk about the Detroit Tigers spiraling right now, but at the end of August / early September is the perfect time to have that team meeting, get punched in the face a little bit, press the reset button, and then you can just surge the way they did the next couple of weeks. I'm not saying you ever wish that on anyone, but if there's ever a time to slip, they pick the best time to slip.
Right. It's. I mean, proof's in the pudding. It worked. Maybe it rattled some cages, got somebody to relax, whatever was going on there. We heard that cut from Cal where he referenced him, saying, bringing him over, talking about Josh Naylor. I mean, that moment last night is going to be one that we reflect on, I think, like we do the Cal home run that sealed it in 22. And it's not maybe as big as 95, but considering how they were playing and what was on the line last night, I just think it's going to be something, hey, remember the Naylor double. They cleared the bases, and they secured their spot in the postseason. Yeah. He's been tremendous for this team. I want to hear the play-by-play on that because I had goosebumps when it happened, and I want to hear it one more time.
Here's the set, and the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a drive, deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. He's waving in Julio. Here comes Julio rounding third. He'll score. A bases clearing. 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead. 4-3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Naylor comes through in the clutch with 2 outs, a double into the gap in left center field, scoring Rayleigh, Crawford, and Julio Rodriguez. It's a brand new ball game, and the fans are on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Where does that go down in Mariner lore, if you will? And you guys can text in on that as well, 866-979-3776. Is that going to be a moment we refer to, you think?
Has to be, right? Has to be. And just Josh Naylor's reaction at second base.
Oh,
you feel like and I think with Josh Naylor too, look, it wasn't this instant when he came over in that trade. If you go back to those early days where, boom, here we go, because he was kind of overshadowed by Gino coming back. Let's get real. And he was kind of the compliment to the Gino. I know they weren't in the same trade, but from the same team. And so he was kind of that second piece, in the tier of the big move when you think about, they went all in at the trade deadline. But it took him a little bit to get to a place where what we saw, their reaction at second base. He was feeling everyone out too those first couple days, like, I don't want to be the guy.
He was kind of like,
he's like, exactly. And it's like, am I going to be the guy? Like, I've been in this position before, but I don't know what this, I'm here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm trying to feel all that. And then he's just kind of grown this whole, persona of Josh Naylor, that all business, and that stability in the clubhouse. And that guy in the middle of the lineup to come up in a situation like that has just kind of grown and developed. And now all of a sudden, I mean, think of last week. I mean, if you're watching the TV broadcast, there's one guy holding up his Naylor jersey with a big red.
Oh, yeah. He was frantic.
That guy, I'm telling you, you watch, man, all these highlights, and you talk about, where that double, the double lives. with all those highlights. That dude holding up that, he's going to be fun. He's going to be attached to that now.
Oh, yeah.
because he just kind of embodied the whole Josh Naylor vibe of how much the fans love him. They love that, just all business, get it done.
I think they love that he said,
no BS.
That he said, I love hitting here. This is a hitter's park.
That was huge,
He said it's easy to hit here, and his numbers bear that out.
I know.
For him, it is.
And it's not something where he's coming up with some, all right, dude, like pump the brakes a little bit. Like even the play when he said, I knew Julio was catching that ball in right center field. Do you remember that?
He's walking off.
He was just walking off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on a minute. So I got the high home view. I'm like, I need to look at this zoomed out. I'm like,
he walked off.
He is walking off, dude. It's just that. It's like embodying that. So he's all business, and there's nothing that he says which is any kind of, just throwing you a platitude out there or just that cliche, anything like that. It's just, nope, this is what I did, and I'm backing it up, and everything, and again, that hit just kind of embodied that, I think, to get to the postseason.
Matt Brash was talking about it, that moment, and just talked about his view of that shot from the bullpen.
I mean, I was down in the bullpen cheering the guys on. Then when Naylor hit that double, it was hit right at me in the bullpen, and we just start going crazy. I don't know what I did, if it was on camera, but I was swinging my arms trying to tell Julio to run faster so we could score and take the lead there. And, I mean, what a cool moment for him, and that's huge for us to clinch, and now we can go and get the division.
I love that. I was trying to tell Julio to run faster.
I love it. Swinging his arms around. I got to go back and have a look.
Oh, yeah. Just the way this guy has been just absolutely embraced by this fan base. I mean, they love him. And he almost seems taken aback by it. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Wow, this place is crazy.
You know what else, too, he said? And it's so true. Because you don't have to be you don't have to be doing an arbitration case or be Scott Boras to understand this. Him stealing those bases.
Yeah.
Look, when you look at that on paper in regards to when you go to his free agency or arbitration, and I'm just telling you this because I talk to guys all the time, that gives you no value. Gives Josh Naylor no value. But in this situation and in this circumstance, him grabbing those bases and why he's doing it, and what he said was because it's a team move. And what he means by that is he knows that him grabbing 20 bags does zero for his free agency.
Right.
However, him doing that, I'm telling you, that the word gets around teams that say, man, like, okay, he's actually putting himself in this position or risking that or grabbing that extra base because it's a team move. I love that. And he's spot on, too. That's not like, I'm doing it for the team. No. Are you? No, matter of fact, you are, because that doesn't give you – it's the same as when guys like – when they had the shift for lefties and, Kyle Seager.
Yeah.
Dude, can you stop grounding out to second base? Well, no, because my whole point here, I'm trying to drive the ball to right center field, and I get it because that's what gets you paid. What are you going to flip a single to left field? That's not going to get him paid, period. No, driving a ball to right field, so I'm not going to change my approach. So I love that about him too, man, with Josh Naylor. It just adds to – the character and everything, everyone's fallen in love with it.
When he knows how much that extra 90 feet mean.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Second to third, all of a sudden, sack fly, he scores, and that's the difference, and we've seen it. One more quickly. This is from Andres Munoz, just explaining from his perspective what Naylor has meant to this team.
He's on a lot, and on the field and off the field. He proved that he's really calm normally, but when he go out there, he do his best every time that he's like me. I do my best every pitch, and he do his best every time that he make a swing or something.
I love Andres.
He's the best.
He's the sweetest guy.
Awesome.
Man. He's such a
hey, by the way, he said, no, we talked about this yesterday, right? About the hands of the pitch tipping. No, I didn't talk to you about that. I wasn't cracking up, but it's so true. After KC, he got a save, and he was talking to Brad Adam on the TV broadcast, and he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you have to do to that?" Yeah, he goes, "Well, I had to make sure my hands are okay first, like in my glove, because of the pitch." It's just like, dude, I love this guy. Man. It's true. Like he had to make sure that he wasn't tipping his pitch first, and then he's just going to go and just throw a 99 at the top of the zone. It's just, he's awesome. Man. I love it. It's
By the way, his entrance not the coolest thing
so
ever.
Cool.
They were showing that view from behind him running. It's dark. You see all the phones and what he's seeing from behind.
So cool.
That is the coolest visual.
Yeah, I had some buddies back in Australia tuned in watching the game. And I knew that they weren't going to go to commercial. Usually they go to commercial so you don't see it. And I was texting them 2 outs. I said, do not watch this, what's about to come up.
Yeah.
Because they're going to show the whole thing. And they'll text me going, dude, that is the coolest thing. Because they've never seen it in person.
It
Because
looks
they're
amazing.
across the other side of the Pacific Ocean. But they're like, man, that is so cool. It is epic.
It is epic. By the way, when you came out of the bullpen, what did they do? Did you pick a song? Did you have a song?
Well, we've got Adam Ray here.
We'll get him on to comment about it in the next segment.
Well, you know, real quick on this. So the Mariners, it's funny because I didn't want to have a walkout song. I was just like, whatever. Do you remember the song? I think it's called. I don't know if it's called "Rollin' or Keep Rollin'." Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah.
I had that chorus because my name, Roland Smith.
Oh,
my sister was in town. She goes, "Oh, what's your song?" Because I think JJ came out had Thunderstruck. I was like, "Watch this! This is so cool." Gave me goosebumps. AC/DC the whole bit. I said, "I don't have a song," and then lo and behold, she's in town, and that starts playing. I'm like, "Oh, I get it." And they have on the scoreboard like ROO, like my name spread out. Oh, that is so
fired
cool.
you up?
It did, but. On the flip side, I remember my first start. They start pumping down. I'm like, "Hey guys, turn it off in case I suck." If I suck it up here, the team's gonna be like, "Look at this clown."
That's awesome. All right, coming up, he was somehow right in the center of all of the celebrations last night, as he is wont to do. Our buddy Adam Ray is going to join us up here in the booth. That is coming up next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Roland Smith, and this is Seattle Sports on 710.
It's why we love sports. Those certain moments, the ones we talk about for generations. Moments like this one.
Deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. Here comes Julio rounding third. He'll score. 3-run double by Josh Naylor.
A win tonight, and the Mariners are division champs. M's and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Yeah, it's another beautiful day out here. Perfect day for baseball. Perfect day to get out on the motorcycle. And I am doing that as often as possible while the weather is here. And I know a lot of you are. You guys text in talking about your rides, talking about your motorcycles. Some of you talked about injuries you've sustained in crashes. Now, if you're somebody out there that's been injured in a motorcycle crash and you're talking to law firms, don't settle for a firm that tells you that they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it, and you know who they are. They are the Law Tigers. They've been a part of the writing community for nearly a quarter century nationwide. And when you're in an accident, you're calling, you're looking for help and guidance, you got to have somebody who's actually going to pick up the phone and be there on the other end, and that's where they are. They are available 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it most, and Law Tigers is that resource riders can turn to when they're in need. Now, you see them everywhere at all the events. They're out there supporting all the clubs and shops. You see the tents, you see the vans, the billboards. Law Tigers are always there by your side. And even better, your case evaluation is completely free. There are no fees until your case settles, so they don't get paid until you get paid. And on top of that, they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced because they know what that stuff means to you. So you never ride alone with Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Molly Hatchet is bringing their iconic Southern Rock to the Event Center at Silver Reef Casino Resort on Saturday, September 27th. Prepare for an unforgettable night of hits like Flirtin' with Disaster and Gator Country. Mark your calendars for Saturday, September 27th. Tickets are on sale now and start at just $30. Don't miss your chance to see Molly Hatchet at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Get your tickets today at silverreefcasino.com.
The following is a paid advertisement for the Wellness Company.
Hey there, it's Michelle Smallman from Unsportsmanlike. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company. And Dr. Drew, you have something very exciting to talk about today, the medical emergency kit. Tell us a little bit about this.
It is exciting. Look, I have been fighting to try to protect the patient-physician relationship my entire career, and we have lost. I finally decided I need to be involved with people that put the power back in the patient directly. These emergency kits give you everything you need so you don't have to spend $1,200 going to the emergency room. And we have a significant medical team, the medical board at TWC, and we just sat down and put together what we would want for our family, for our patients.
Oh my gosh, so anything that anyone could need is in this
and there's
kit.
a guidebook here to tell you exactly how to use it, and again, telehealth backup.
It's remarkable. It's innovative. Everyone needs to get one. UrgentCareKit.com/sports, promo code sports to get $50 off your kit. That's UrgentCareKit.com/sports, promo code sports.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
Some
Well, my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Your home for baseball's postseason. Seattle Sports. Home of your playoff-bound Mariners.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. With our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've hand-picked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are live at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Roland Smith in, and always a pleasure to bring this man to the mic with us. You probably saw him all over Root Sports if you were watching the post-game festivities last night. He got a lot of FaceTime out there as he was celebrating with the team, and they were embracing him like he's a rock star in that clubhouse. I tell you what, Adam Ray is here with us. How are you, man?
You know what? I've done a lot of cool things in my career thus far. I just got to hug Gary Hill for longer than 3 seconds. He's usually a 2-second hug guy, so
he gets uncomfortable.
Already feeling good. He gets, not as uncomfy as Mike Lefko gets with any sort of back rub. Well, I just don't know where your hands have been. Yeah, being on Root Sports, new highlight. But I've got so many text message. My folks in particular, my mom was so proud. I mean, I don't know how I ended up back there either, but man, to walk in and then immediately get doused with booze, and it was just.
Julio was the first one. Comes up, pulls his hat off, dumps it on his head,
and I just started screaming, and everyone else started screaming and throwing more booze. It was awesome, dude.
We were talking though before he came up here. It's like you're like a magnet. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's Adam!" Like, oh. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, dude, honestly, George Kirby, who loves you, I'm sitting there going, okay, hey, George, you good to go do this interview? Like, I'm going to take you out of this really fun space where you got goggles on, you can pop in champagne. You got to come talk to me outside of the plastic.
Sorry.
Oh, hey. But then he sees you. I'm like, I got no chance here, because he just lit up when he saw you walk in.
Well, dude, it's you know, I don't know what to tell you, right? Be funnier? I don't know, but like they, I don't know. You've got the looks part down. You just got to get your timing down. But
That's right.
no, it's yeah. I mean, dude, they're just people, and like, I mean, obviously, all you guys. I mean, I even looked at Bobby that way when I was a fan of the show and before I met him. When you're a fan of something and you're so removed, people are up on these pedestals. And then
I've been removed from that pedestal.
Yeah, no. Well, now I'm like, I can do as many push-ups as Bob, so I'm like, he's not that big of a deal. No, he's the man. But yeah, being down there, it was, you know, I was just talking to Mike about it. He's like, oh, I didn't know the celebration would be that, you know, hefty on the first night. But like, you know, I saw Dan Wilson down there and talked to him for a bit, and he was just so pumped and so happy, and like, just, you know, why wouldn't you celebrate his first like real taste of this as manager? And also, I didn't realize second postseason appearance in 25 years. So, and also, you know, they celebrated appropriately. It was the spirits were high, but like, I would have been bummed if it was tame and it was like, hey, we got to treat this as like business as usual, and like we expected to be here, so act like you've been here before. No, man, you got to like, you got to enjoy, and that's for all parts of life. You got to like, you know, even if I book some cool gig or this and that, it's like I try to not let myself get too like. I shouldn't feel like that should be in the realm of possibility, but like, you got to celebrate the highs, man.
What was your as a fan and everybody who?
What was my breakfast order this morning when I was hungover?
That was the next question. No, but as a fan, and everybody knows what a fan you are. I mean, you rep Seattle no matter where you're at in the country.
Bro, I flew up here just for yesterday and today. I mean,
okay, quit showing off.
Yeah,
but
I flew Spirit, so it's not that big of a flex.
Every city you're in, there's a video of you on stage, and you're wearing a Sonics hat, a Mariners hat. You're wearing some sort of gear representing Seattle. So you're a super fan.
Yeah,
you're here at this game last night, and let's be honest, it was a pig of a game.
Oh yeah,
up until that moment. What did you, when that hit happened? Naylor crushes it to left center. What did you lose your mind? What was your reaction?
Well, it was definitely not the ideal, 6 to 7 innings of baseball, and I'm down on the field pregame, and everyone's sentiments are like, yeah, like the Rockies are the worst team in baseball. They have, a pitcher going, I think last night, that had an over 9 ERA.
9.17.
So you're like, oh, there's going to be batting practice. Excuse me, it should be tonight. Wow, the tequila is coming right up. It is, yeah, that did not feel good. Yeah, just threw up in my mouth. But it is, it was, it's still baseball. It's like football. Any given Sunday, there's still a major league team.
Yeah.
So you're seeing, I don't know the name of their starter, but like he was
McCade Brown.
Yeah, who?
Yeah.
You might have said Mike Lefko. Who is that? So that guy, still a major league pitcher, right? And
6'6", stepping across his body, throwing 96 with sink. Come on, dude.
Come on. So I mean, and we couldn't touch anything. But I got to be honest, man, because the way these last few months have been going, and because I think we're 21-3 at T-Mobile since we got Josh Naylor. Shout out to Alex for that stat. I saw it on Twitter, and it was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to get some opportunity. I think that's what's great about this team and the way we've stacked this lineup is there's now always an opportunity to make a splash in some inning. But and then I think there was we got a few double plays in the 6th and 7th that got us out of any sort of potential threat. And then once Julio even said this to me as we were chumming it up in the clubhouse, which by the way, he took his phone out and took selfies of us, and I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna need to get those ASAP so that people know that we're slowly becoming BFFs.
Yeah.
And can I borrow $50,000?
Yeah.
And so he goes, dude, as soon as Luke Rayleigh got hit first, right? He goes, as soon as Luke got hit, he was like, here we go. Like this, he just knew. He was like, this is the inning that I was just speaking to, where this is our chance now to like get in and get dirty and turn this game around. And dude, and then once like, did Julio walk or he got hit too?
He got hit.
He got hit too.
Hit, yeah.
So once the bases were loaded, I got to be honest, I was like, bummer that he didn't get a chance to swing away, but I think he had struck out twice. And he even said too, he goes, once I got hit, I was like, all right, obviously like you take the bat out of my hands, but like I'm another base runner. And now I know that if Josh hits one into the gap, like I can score, which is wild. That was shades of Griffey, first to home in 95. I know Salt gloves when I talk about 95, but it was the most perfect hit, 2-0. I'm sitting next to my buddies and Johnny Schneider, and I go, John, he's, not a huge baseball guy, so I'm trying to, educate him on, the, importance of certain moments. And I go, this is a great hitter's count. He goes, what does that mean? I go, this guy's got to throw a strike because then he's one pitch away from walking in a run, and you can't get too behind in the count, especially at this juncture of the game. And I go, he's going to be looking to swing. This guy's got to throw a strike. And literally next pitch, but not only to have it be, high in the zone fastball, but where he put it, dude, if it bounced, Julio's not scoring. It died at the perfect spot. The fact that everybody scored, I didn't even realize that we were that it was to go up 4-3. So I thought we tied it. And then my buddy was like, dude, now Mooney comes in to close it. I go, well, yeah, we got to get. He's like, no, it's 4-3. I was like, I think I was just screaming and losing my mind and burping up Cheetos. And shout out to Riz, but it was unbelievable. And honestly, just par for the course for how the season's going. Yeah. And as you guys know better than anybody, getting hot at the right time is what it's all about, and staying healthy. And games like that are just another reminder that this season is not a mistake, and that everyone should be thinking big for how the rest of this postseason pans out, which hopefully gets solidified tonight.
Well, we'll talk more about that coming up. Also, what if one thing had not happened for the Mariners at the trade deadline? It is What If Wednesday. We're going to address that. We got Adam Ray in the booth with us as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Ryan Roland Smith in. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 38, Max Strong, fullback. Certainly one of the great Seahawks of all time. Selfless player, leader on that offense, played special teams, and was a great receiver out of the backfield.
The Hawks aim for their third straight win, playing under the Thursday night lights in Arizona against the division rival Cardinals. Kickoff 5:15, pregame at 2.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. To celebrate the start of football season, the guys at Harley Exteriors are offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off. And take another $200 off your entire project. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or go to HarleyExteriors.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stacey Rost here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at woiseattle.org.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
What? It's time for What If Wednesday.
Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt.
Wyman and Bob rewrite the scripts of major moves and moments in sports every Wednesday afternoon. Now step into an alternative reality with Wyman and Bob.
It is What If Wednesday, presented by Mazda of Everett. Today's What If question, our hypothetical question. What if, Ryan, Adam, the Mariners hadn't traded for Josh Naylor?
Oof. I don't want to think about that.
Where are they at right now without him? Let's just say they couldn't get the deal done. It didn't happen, so they got Gino, they got Caleb Ferguson, and maybe it's Rayleigh at first base. I don't know. He's not here. Where is his team?
Man. It's a couple things to think about. First of all, Gino, we all love him, don't get me wrong. 0 for 32 streak. There's been the swing and misses going up. So you look at a lineup which is a little bit more, you can navigate a little bit easier in regards to if you're a starting pitcher and you're in that situation where you checking out your pitch count, all of a sudden you're on the ropes a little bit. Then you have that one at bat in the middle, and you know it's Josh Naylor who you've got to get through. It's going to take you a 3-2 count to get to him, and you got to make that really good pitch. You're missing that. You're taking that out of it. There's just way more exposure to just a higher swing and miss on either side of that middle of the lineup. So I think, man, well, they're definitely not in this position. No chance. No chance at all.
Adam, can you imagine this team without Naylor? And we wouldn't have had that moment last night.
Wouldn't have had that moment. I think we probably would have dug deep, and Stanton would have been like, hey, I re-signed Greg Perkle and Richie Sexton. And you'd be like, cool.
Brought him out of retirement.
Are we having more bark in the parks too, John? So the fact that they dug deep and really got creative and got savvy with what we needed. And it wasn't just about appeasing the fan base, which is awesome. It's like you actually addressed needs. You know, like we needed a first baseman. Love Ty France. Like, definitely probably could have, just stayed the course with him. But I don't know, dude. You look like a genius when the moves work out. But I think that they, at least for the first time in a long time, obviously getting Randy is not anything we should sleep on either, but I think they got real serious, for lack of a better word, about really adding pieces that would pan out the way that it's panning out.
Just a couple layers on that too. Do you remember who they traded for to get Josh Naylor?
I can't see your screen from here. He's covering his screen like I can read it.
Yeah, what do you got on that screen, by the way?
But,
I'm hearing a lot of weird noises. Yeah.
Can you remember who they traded away to get Josh Naylor? I guarantee you, people texting in, you'd have to Google it. And the reason I say that is because, okay, first of all, nothing against these guys. Brandon Garcia, Ashton Izzy, right? For that trade. Now,
yeah, Locklear was the Gino one.
Yes. If you were to give up, one of these top 100 prospects, you wouldn't care either at this point. It would still be 100% worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so think of that, like just from the value standpoint, when that trade happened. And by the way, I'm telling you, you had that shake hands conversation with the D-backs with the Naylor, and you guys both feel really good about the trade. It's just an easy transition to slide straight into the Gino conversation.
Yeah, you know what also is exciting about, even to go back to how optimistic I was in the game last night, our lineup there's no holes now. Mm-hmm. JP is ninth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, hitting a grand, there's a threat at every spot now. And I think that is what the fan base was clamoring for. Clamoring or yammering? Gary?
Clamoring.
I didn't know.
Clamoring?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bob, you can't read. There's something about looking at the lineup every night and going, oh, wow. Like the fact that Naylor was up, and then let's say there was one out, and you're like, okay, cool. If he's not going to get it done, Jorge's been killing it. If he can't get it done, Gino, and even bringing in Rayleigh, it was like, dude, we have options on the bench now that are strong. The whole lineup feels scary, which I don't think we've had that since maybe 1996 or 2001. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where truly, remember in 96, it was like A-Rod, Griffey, Cora, Buhner, Edgar, Paul Sorrento, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Julio Cruz, right, was in there. And even he was, I think that was 96.
That was Jose Cruz.
Jose Cruz. That was 97. Yeah. But anyway, Russ Davis. We haven't had a lineup that
there's where you missed.
Yeah, yeah. Russ Davis, yeah. He always had Sweet Home Alabama being played when he came to the plate and a Mike Pence tattoo on his lower back.
That one didn't work.
Yeah, that was a bust. But yeah, just knowing that every spot is a potential, banger out of the park or something. Everyone can contribute at this point, and we haven't had that in a while. And shout out to the front office for making it happen.
Hey, you got before you get out of here, because I know you got to go hang out with the elite down there.
I got to go get a couple more Instagram follows.
Yeah, that's
right. What's Lyle from the morning show keeps blowing me up. He texts me every night before I go to bed, sweet dreams, and so at some point I got to meet him face to face.
That's
and
awkward.
Say, thanks. Yeah,
that's awkward. But you've got a big hometown show coming up December 19th at the Moore Theater.
December 19th, the Moore Theater. It's a historic theater here in Seattle. Pearl Jam has shot some music videos there. Nikki Glaser, Joe Coy, Tom Segura, Ali Wong have all shot specials there, and we're about 65% sold out right now. So get your tickets at AdamRayComedy.com. Let me just say this: here comes that tequila again. It's the Friday after Thursday Night Football in Seattle. So I've already been told by Sammy Darnold and Mike McDonald that they're going to make a team night out of it for the Hawks.
Nice. So the whole team's coming out.
Most of the team, I know hopefully most of the M staff that's local. Shannon Drayer is going to open with 5. And it's Shannon, right? You said 5, maybe 3?
5. She's going to make her stand-up debut at the Moore Theater.
Shannon's low-key funny. She's got that dry, subtle, almost like Mitch Hedberg or Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
And we got some other surprises. I think my buddy Joel McHale is going to be here. There's a big singer that lives in Seattle that has a band named after him that I just found out is going to be there. It's going to be a wild night, dude. So come out. Ryan, I got this. It's going to be December 19th. December 19th, the Moore Theater. And whether you're Australian or you're not, you can show up, buy tickets, AdamRayComedy.com.
Yeah, I won't be there.
Oh, wow.
I like that, Ryan.
Are you busy? You're not busy.
No, I think the night before I got my kids' school Christmas concert, and then after that I'll head out. So I think I'm open.
Dude, come on out, please. It's going to be a blast. Last time you saw me was a comedy club, so I'm leveling
That's
up.
right.
Do you think people got to have an idea of the musician you were talking about with that description?
They must, right?
I don't know.
They don't know. Did it seem pretty? Yeah.
I mean, I know who it is because we talked about it, but
yeah,
you just said him. You sit with a band named after him.
Yeah. I guess there could be plenty of those, right? Yeah.
It's a big one.
It's a big one, and it's
what a cool venue though to be able to play out there.
It's iconic.
I saw Metallica play at the Moore Theater.
No way.
Yeah, on the Ride the Lightning tour.
No way.
Yeah, I was a little.
This will be the same show, pretty much.
Yeah.
Same.
Just as loud and
Just
frenzied.
as loud,
yeah.
My friend's band, Real Dawn Music, is actually going to open. One of my best friends, Kirk Kaufman, I went to high school with, and it's cool. This is my first big theater show for stand-up, and the fact that it's hometown is even cooler. I did just announce a big theater tour for January through April of 2026. All those tickets, AdamRayComedy.com, pre-sale code ARAY, and an Australian tour, so we can go get all of the Roland Smith Bogans out in Perth and Melbourne and Sydney, and the Wahlburgers family, I think, is going to be down there. There's a Wahlburgers in Sydney. I was in Sydney. This story gets better. I was in Sydney when they opened a Wahlburgers, and it was a big deal.
It was?
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
That's it. All right. December 19th, the Moore Theater. Go to AdamRayComedy.com for tickets.
That's it, baby.
And there's going to be a who's who in the audience.
Who's who? There's some special guests, some huge surprises. Obviously, just my new hour of stand-up, and then and hopefully we're hoisting that trophy on stage.
Yeah.
How about
Good
that?
stuff. Good stuff.
All
All right, Adam. We appreciate you,
I love
brother.
you guys. Go M's.
There you go. There he is. Adam Ray again, December 19th at the Moore Theater. AdamRayComedy.com for tickets. It's rapidly selling out, so get your tickets. It's going to be a big night out there. Meanwhile, there are a lot of reasons to be really excited about this Mariners team right now. We're going to get into those coming up next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Ryan Roland Smith in right here on your home for the first place Seattle Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
It's why we love sports. Those certain moments, the ones we talk about for generations. Moments like this one.
Deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. Here comes Julio routing third. He'll score. 3-run double by Josh Naylor.
A win tonight, and the Mariners are division champs. M's and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Sometimes even heroes need rescuing.
I'm a retired firefighter, 27 years.
Kurt had severe pain in his knees and his shoulder, which was keeping him from enjoying his well-deserved retirement.
Loved to ski, loved to fish, and couldn't even walk 18 holes.
That's why Kurt decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
He was just awesome. He goes, yeah, give me a shot. And he took care of me. He stemmed my knee and my shoulder.
And how are you feeling now?
I was pain-free in 12 weeks. I play golf now pain-free, and it's awesome.
So you'd recommend this treatment to others in your situation?
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Wagner's, he's had a couple people call me, and I recommended that they do it.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 days
September 30th at Climate Pledge Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Let's go!
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live at T-Mobile Park where the Mariners are getting set for Game 2 against the Colorado Rockies and hopefully locking up the AL West for the first time since 2001. And Ryan, we now get a chance to speak with the man. I refer to him as our white whale. We've been trying to get this guy on the show in spring training, trying to get him on through the season. We were going to send Adam Ray down there to sweet talk him into coming on the show with us, but he's here with us. He's got the headsets on. Talk about the one, the only George Kirby is here with us. How are you, man?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Would that have worked if we'd sent Adam in there and he said, hey, they're really cool guys. You should go talk to them. Would that have had any impact?
Yeah, maybe.
I had to pull him out of the scrum last night, having popping champagne, say, hey, George, I need you on Root Sports. So I've already bugged him enough. Here he is, day 2. Love it. Hell yeah.
Well, George, we appreciate it, man. And I just want to get I'm sure you were asked this a million times last night, but I didn't hear the answer. Just in that moment last night, leading up to the big hit from Naylor, and things weren't going great for the team. It was, as Cal came out and said, he's like, yeah, that was bad baseball. But in that moment, when that hit took place, what was your reaction? Where were you sitting there on the rail of the dugout? Where were you, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, I was on the railing in the dugout. It was kind of one of those moments where you kind of knew he was going to come through right there. And I think everybody believed that too. But yeah, like, you know, getting Naylor at the deadline and, you know, him coming up, he's the guy that kind of makes the huge, or gets the huge hit right there is, I don't know, it's pretty cool to see. But Yeah, it was unbelievable. At that point, I knew when Munoz would go in, he'd lock it down for us. So.
Hey, George, Logan last night mentioned you guys had like a team meeting in Tampa when you kind of at that low point in that road trip. Can you take us back to that team meeting? Was that like a player-led meeting? Was that Dan Wilson running that meeting? Was that what was said? What was the big emphasis of that to get you to where you guys are at now?
Yeah, I'd say it was kind of like a whole org meeting, but it was just like it was obvious we weren't playing that well. I think it was just something that needed to be said, to kind of get us over that hump or to stop thinking about the bad losses or whatever, and kind of just come together. And I think a lot of times everyone focused on like the big goal, but I think what we've been doing really well is just taking one game at a time, and I think that's kind of how you get to the end of the road where you want to go instead of really looking at like the big picture. I think just one game at a time, and that was kind of the message in that meeting, I'd say. Obviously we're not paying our potential, but just keep sticking to it, one game at a time, kind of look at it like that, and I think that really helped us.
Is there ever, I think people feel like, pro athletes, they never suffer a crisis of confidence. Your confidence is never dented, if you will. But when things aren't going right, is that something where you're questioning your mechanics as a pitcher? You're questioning, can I get away with throwing this pitch? Do you trust those pitches? Is that a situation for you as an individual? You ever get too analytical, or maybe you start questioning things you otherwise wouldn't?
For me, I feel like I don't get so much in mechanics and all that. It's kind of just like negative thoughts just creep in your head, and being able to figure out how to get them out. That's kind of what I deal with, and some guys are pretty similar. But yeah, like especially as pitchers, we're practicing throwing every day. Like I feel like if you get into mechanics too much, it kind of just you're not kind of going back to your roots, like, just being athletic and, just going out there and just throwing the ball. Yeah, I don't know. I think when you get a little mechanical, it gets a little weird, but if you can just kind of figure that out, and then I think it's all about the mental approach. Whatever you can go out there and just be positive, be confident and all that, then it kind of takes care of itself.
George, I want to ask you this, man. I've had this conversation with a few different people, but is there any advantage to pitching game 2 in a series? I'm talking regular season, right, where you get to a ballpark, especially on the road. You get to kind of take in all the sights and sounds. You get kind of a little bit of a blueprint of the guy. Let's say Logan's pitching in front of you with game 1, and watch how he kind of goes after the hitters, or just get that top step view. Is there any, for you, do you think about that in regards to pitching that second game? Does it feel different to pitching the first game of a series?
For me, I don't think it's much different, but I mean, if you're, second or third game of series, you really get to see like what the hitters are, their approach to, who's ever pitching Logan, Woo, whatever. And you kind of, based on what they did, you can kind of attack your game plan from kind of what they did, what kind of swings they were taking, all that. So yeah, it's super helpful. But it's also good, right out of the gate, just come out and just do your thing, and then that's always good too. But yeah, it's good to see some games before you got to go in there, just a little bit better game plan.
Hey George, for you, when a crowd here at home is going ballistic, like we've seen and like we heard last night when they came up with that hit, we've heard different players on this team, remark about it, just talk about, the juices get flowing. Are you a guy that's impacted by the noise that's created by the fans here? Or are you kind of tunnel vision and tuning out, you don't really hear it? How do you respond when the building is rocking like it was last night after that big hit?
Yeah, I mean, the fans here are incredible. I think I speak for everybody. Like when, something big happens, or, the fans really get into it, it really gives us a lot of energy. Like playing here, and then one of the reasons I really like playing in Houston is just because those fans are, the building's loud, like they get into it, like they're booing at you. It's just like, it just kind of gives you that extra little bit of confidence and energy just to kind of go out there and compete. And especially when you hear it at home, it's a great feeling, to have the crowd behind you. So.
George, going back to that start, man, it was so impressive, that second start down in Houston, and that was such a huge, pivotal game, and I'm calling that series down in Houston one of the most important for the Mariners, franchise in history. I mean, Wu goes out, just dominates. You go out, dominate again, and it was a little rocky, leading into that series. But do you push? Is that a situation where you just kind of put all the numbers or anything you've done aside the last couple of outings and just go out and know what's at stake with this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now we're just focused on winning. Stats don't matter right now. We're all striving for the World Series, and everyone wants that, and everyone's playing together, and just top to bottom, everyone's just getting it done. It's just really, really fun to see, honestly.
Hey, have you allowed yourself, I mean, you mentioned the World Series, that's always the ultimate goal, but the message last night in that clubhouse from everybody we talked to seemed to be, look, this is great, but we've got more to do. There's more work to do, which I loved hearing. But do you allow yourself to sort of daydream and feel what it would feel like to pitch a World Series game here at T-Mobile?
Yeah, that would be incredible. I think, it's great to, visualize that and, hope for that moment, but, like I said, I think the best thing that we've been doing is just kind of taking every, one day at a time, one game at a time. Come in, do your work, get ready to play, and we get after that day, and then we flip the page, you go to the next day. I think right now that's a big key for us, but I still think it's good. We're all striving for one similar goal, but you got to just stay locked in one day at a time. I think that's the best thing to do.
George, I've got to sneak this one in. It's a pitching question. The split, you've gotten away from your split. You've gone more just a generic changeup, I guess. Are we going to see that split again? Is that something you're still working on in the bullpen?
It's an off-season thing.
Gotcha.
I just haven't been quite feeling great with it at the moment.
Right.
But that I'm going to try and get that back during the off-season, and right now kind of just using the changeup in certain situations. Since I've been using the curveball and the slider a lot, and then kind of haven't really needed to use the split as much, and the changeup's kind of been like a show pitch for certain guys. But as long as I can execute with the two heaters and two off speed, it should be good. So.
Yeah, George, it's awesome to speak to you, man. We really appreciate you taking the time. Glad we finally got a chance to get you on the show, so we really appreciate that. And, of course, hopefully we are talking about another celebration tonight in that clubhouse, so get ready for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
George.
There you go. There he is, George Kirby. We've been trying to get him on the show for a while. He's elusive. He's elusive.
Yeah, he's tough. He was great with me last night, man. I felt, like I said, felt bad. You don't want to ever pull guys out of that.
Moment.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, hi. I need to, But he was great. And again, that game 2 of that series in Houston, how good he was. And he was a little shaky before that. He's still trying to figure things out, spending the time in the IL and going back and forth. But, man, he was huge. Yeah,
and it's you talk about him not using that split. When you lose confidence in a pitch, is it mental or is it mechanical? What's happening there?
I think it's probably something mechanical. Let's not forget, too, with George, his arm slots dipped a little bit, and that can...
Is that compensating for what he's dealing with?
It's usually a shoulder issue. Anytime you're coming back from a shoulder injury, you are going to find it tough to get back to whatever that natural, what you thought was natural, that arm slot. And so I think for George, and again, I'm not putting words in his mouth at all, I think for that split, him and Logan have a very similar one. Bryce has more of its... It's a little higher spin, more like a straight change look to it. Whereas their split, it's that fork, that knuckling one that kind of tumbles. Man, you lose feel for that. It's tough to get, and it's tough to get on a short term. He heard him say, in the off season, that's an off season project.
That's not during the week in the bullpen.
Absolutely not. No.
Did you ever have that situation? You had a pitch that was your pitch, and all of a sudden I can't land it.
Yeah, my curveball. I lost that depth to it. I just all of a sudden got really horizontal, and I just couldn't feel it. And whether it's a posture issue or an arm slot or whatever it was, I lost that pitch for a while. It's a very tough thing to get on short term. But I did have to ask him if he's like, oh no, actually I've been working on. I was like, man, if you could get that split back against lefties. However, if you look at some of the numbers with the breaking balls to lefties, he's in good shape.
With him, his command was always the conversation. right? It was always about this guy doesn't walk anybody. He's angry if he walks somebody. That number has crept up. But is that because he's lost command, or is that because he's trying to induce more chase? Because I've heard a number of people, and maybe you've said it before too, about he needs to throw us. He needs to induce. He's got to risk a walk to get some of these guys to chase because he's always around the strike zone.
So any pitcher, especially the starting 5 that we have in this rotation, when they're on, when George Kirby is 100% executing, the command, who cares? When all of a sudden, then you're going to have plenty of these outings, like Max Scherzer, who, by the way, I'm watching pitching for the Blue Jays right now, talked about, 8 out of 10 starts, I'm not going to feel right. And so what do you do to induce that weak ground ball? What do you do to get away from the hard contact? What's that safety net? So for most guys, when they're not on and they're not a command-heavy pitcher like George Kirby, you start seeing him spraying those waste pitches, and it's all of a sudden 2-0, 2-1, bad counts, whack, hard contact. George is the opposite. He, all of a sudden, when he's not quite all the way there, and again, every pitcher in the big leagues is going to have a ton of these outings, he goes more in the middle of the plate. His misses are in the middle because he's so stubborn about being, inside the strike zone. So I think you see that walk rate go up a little bit because he has the ability, and I think he can live at a higher walk or a higher miss percentage because he has the ability to be, paint in a 2-0, 2-1 count as opposed to 2-0, 2-1, middle of the plate.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of that. So again, looking at that, I'm not super concerned. It's not like, well, he's look, more base runners. Yeah, it's obviously not a good thing. I get it. But man, when he's out in the middle of the play, he's naturally going to get chased. And he did that. Matter of fact, he did that in that Houston series. He was dotting up and into lefties, up and away to righties, and he was having good misses. All of a sudden, they were so aggressive, and they just walked straight into it.
One thing I'd been hearing about with in relation to George from other pitchers is that they felt like his emotions can work for him. Certainly, he's got that edge. He's they call him angry, furious George, all that. But when things start going the wrong way, that he has a hard time reeling it back. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, man. I think because he is so competitive. I think because he's around peers that are so they've raised the bar, whether it be Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert last year. So think about it like this, man. In the last couple of years, George Kirby went from 2023 being an all-star, and then he had a couple bumps in the road there. And last year, he's trying to stay at that level. Logan Gilbert's just doing what Logan Gilbert did last year. Brian Wu's doing it this year. So I think for him, there's that little bit of element where he is so competitive that, and sometimes, and this is, again, he's still learning, some of these things, that you can get to a place where you get frustrated. I'm just down the middle of the. I'm so stubborn thinking that I can just pitch middle of the plate. I'm going to get bad contact or swing and miss. That's where he's gotten into trouble. But I think as the time's gone on, he's curbed that a little bit. And man, he's just so valuable. You watch him when the lights are the brightest, just like that Houston series, and all of a sudden it's like, me versus you. I'm about to shut you down. That's what you need, and that's what you have in George Kirby.
Boy, he's owned Houston in his career. He's got a sub-2 ERA against that team, regular season and postseason. It's been ridiculous. Hey, just looking at this team, I mean, we're talking about last time they made the playoffs, 2022. We know about the drought. I mean, it's not happened very often. But looking at that 22 team versus this team, how much different is this team? How much better is this team than the 22 version?
I'm going to go back to the 2022 roster and remember that lineup.
It wasn't a great lineup.
Yeah, it was. If I'm thinking back, well, besides that, people could probably, shouting at their radio right now, saying, "Oh, we had this, and this." You had a young, very, very young rookie, Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
You had a very, very young, not the potent home run hitter in Cal Raleigh. Think about that, man. You go back to 22. Cal was hitting down the bottom of the lineup, and there was plenty of swing and miss. There wasn't a whole lot of big time offense threat. And all of a sudden he's approaching 60 home runs. Are you kidding me? Think about that. So, man, this lineup, I'm telling you, and I was saying this morning that
I got the lineup here for you.
Let's read it out.
Ty France, Adam Frazier, Julio, Carlos Santana, Cal, Haniger, Crawford, Suarez, Kelnick, Dylan Moore.
There you go. Okay. Compare that to this lineup. Are you kidding me? I mean, You've got a situation where you have a Gino Suarez who's hitting 40+, hitting down the lineup, and then you've got Polanco who's having just a ridiculous month of September, hitting below the meat of that order.
Yeah.
And you've got a J.P. Crawford, one of the highest on base in regards, and especially in his position, hitting ninth. Not hitting one or two, hitting ninth. And I always look at this and say, okay, well, where would Ty France be hitting in this lineup? Where would Jared Kelenic be hitting in this lineup? Yeah. No offense, Jared, but you'd probably be hitting down at Cheney Stadium. Yeah. like I'm just saying, think of the difference. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it is amazing to look at it. And it's doesn't mean this is going to be a completely different season. And I'm looking at the rotation or the pitchers there. You had Castillo, you had Kirby, Gilbert, you had Robbie Ray. I'm just looking at some of the relievers here. Matt Festa. You had certainly Brash, Seawald, Penn Murphy, Castillo. Oh, he used to just give me an ulcer every time he was out there. Eric Swanson.
That's right. Every time I came on a Monday.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. So I come on with you guys every Monday at 3 o'clock. And it would be, I remember, a Saturday or a Sunday, Diego Castillo would come out and pitch. I'm like, oh, I do not want to talk about you for 20 minutes on Monday because you're so fired up about it.
He killed me. He killed me. And I used to marvel at remember, in between every pitch, he would adjust each sleeve. He would take the hat off.
Was
He'd
this
adjust the mitt.
pitch clock? I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Because it was every pitch.
Yeah,
he'd throw the pitch, and then he'd readjust. The hat comes off. He'd do the pants. Everything. He was like Nomar Garciaparra, but he was on the bump.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I mean, that team. Look, it was great that they found it. I don't remember my level of optimism that they're going to find their way through this postseason. I mean, they obviously took out the Blue Jays, and then ultimately we know what happened with the Astros. But there's just a different, as you talked about this lineup 1 through 9, and this rotation. Hopefully, Wu is going to be back, and it sounds like everything's good. Healthy rotation. Yeah. There's so much more to work with here.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much more. That was not a good offense.
Yeah, I think.
In 22.
I mean, tell me a better team in the last, 20 years that is better equipped. And again, let's hypothetically say they all got to a playoff berth.
Yeah.
Is better equipped 1 through 9. Or if I'm a starting pitcher, I have to deal with 1 through 9 with that lineup. No, thanks. That's a tough call. That's a tough draw, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to get crazy with this, and they're going to win the World Series. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're better equipped right now. I don't see, and it doesn't mean guys can't get cold, what have you. But as you talked about, there isn't really a hole in the lineup. There's not that one spot where I'm going, oh, geez, all right, here's an out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It just. Because you talked about it, JP at the bottom of the line, he can't zone in there as a DH.
There is a little bit of that non-getting cold proof with the swing and miss. So I will say that. That's if I'm trying to nitpick here and say you've got a Julio that can get a little high on the swing and miss, Cal and Gino.
Gino struck out 4 times last night.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. If you get like the swing and miss goes up a little bit, that's where you run into a problem, and that's where you have a situation where if you let's say you face, we talked about the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
You had Tarek Skubal day 1. Let's deal with it, right? Day 2, you got a Casey Myers who throws a split, but his command's not great, and he's kind of been very inconsistent. If the swing and miss is up at that point, he can somehow navigate his way through. If it's not, and you can simmer down on the swing and miss or have those better at-bats, man, it is going to be a tough draw.
But the beauty of that is in years past, if the swing and miss was in high effect with those guys, you didn't really have any answers behind them.
Right,
and now you look at it.
Yeah, that's true.
Naylor is not a swing and miss guy.
Breaks it up.
JP
Absolutely.
always forces the opposite, whether it results in a hit or strikeout, whatever it is. It feels like they're throwing at least 5 pitches to him. You've got guys who are good at working the count and aren't as prone to swing and miss.
You've got potent hitters that have good at-bats outside of some of that swing and miss, as opposed to, again, not going back to nothing against 2022. I mean, are you kidding me? They went to the second round of the playoffs. But, man, there wasn't that potency like there is in this lineup.
Yeah, real quick before we let you get out of here, because you got to prep for the broadcast tonight. The bullpen has been spectacular. Yeah, you're going to have moments where guys have an off night, but I mean that what they were asked to do, especially when you go back to those games where you had some short starts from your starters. They had to cover 8 1/3. They had to cover 6+ extra inning games. And I've been pounding the table for Bizzardo. This guy's been unreal. Gave up a hit last night that he had some runners on base, but just where's your confidence with the bullpen? Is there an arm in there where you're like, I don't feel great about that one? Or for me, it's Caleb Ferguson. I'm not certain on when he comes into the game. I don't feel as confident as I do with others. But outside of that, I mean, that pen is, if they're rested, I feel like.
Let's say you have to cover, let's say your starting pitcher gets you into the 6th, right?
Right.
And you have to cover the last part of the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Then you got to, so you look at that and say, all right, you've got Aspire, Bizzardo, 6th and 7th. Then you go to Matt Brash in the 8th and Munoz in the 9th. Honestly, out of that 4, at the moment, I'm going to say, and I'm hoping that he can get some things to click. Matt Brash is the one to me. When I'm watching him, and I love the changeup. I talked to Shannon about this on the post game in Kansas City. In Houston. He's starting to throw that changeup to righties, which is fine. But when you add another little weapon into the mix, all of a sudden you can start to second guess what your bread and butter is. What's my objective? How do I simplify this? I am going to spin that breaking ball. You are going to chase it. And by the way, if I can land that spinning breaking ball in the strike zone, you've got no chance. Now, all of a sudden, I'm adding this changeup. When and how do I throw this pitch? So there's been a little bit of that with him, a little bit of that inconsistency. So that's the one guy, hopefully, in these next couple of series that he gets back to just that just simple, hitter knows what's coming, right? It's a big breaking ball, and I'm going to try and speed you up with the fastball. And I'm not saying take the changeup away.
Right.
That's your bread and butter. Go for it.
Ryan, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
As always, this is always fun.
I love it.
When's the next episode of Top Step come out? Who's the guest?
Adam Jude. We talk about pitch tipping. We take a deep dive into pitch tipping, which is just rampant in the game. It's just part of the game now, but it's fascinating. We talk about that. We also talk about he makes the case for Cal in the MVP, talking to some of the other riders. I also do a breakdown on what's my breakdown this week? I'm trying to think. I did Julio's second half. He's not a second half player. I did that last week. This year I'm doing – I revisit the Astros series and why that is the formula for the playoffs. There you go.
There you go. Top Step coming out this Friday, so check that out. Ryan, we appreciate you, my friend. Coming up, Nate Burleson, who's out there on the field. We're gonna speak with him. Get perspective from him. He's hanging out. Lefko's probably.
Yeah, whoever Adam Ray's chumming it up with is a big deal down there, I guess.
Is that right?
Yes, I saw him down there high-five and giving hugs like he's known him for 20 years.
I think that's Charlie Furbush.
No, that's Furbush. No, I'm talking about 15 minutes ago. I looked down. There's Adam Ray giving him a big bear hug.
It was Nate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll talk to Nate, see if he's recovered from that hug. And Shannon Drayer will join us, our Mariners insider as well. All of that coming up as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Playoff berth? Check.
Here she comes, swing and a miss, strike 3. The Mariners are going to the postseason.
We in this thing, bruh. The Mariners' magic number 1 to clinch the American League West pennant.
And the fans are going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Tonight, the Mariners and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Motorcycle riders, are you taking advantage of this weather? Look out at the side. It's beautiful. Beautiful day to ride, beautiful day for baseball. I've been getting out on the bike as often as possible while I can. I'm a fair weather rider, so when it gets cold and rainy, I'm done. I know a lot of you will ride all year round, and it comes with a little bit more risk. And some of you send in texts talking about accidents you've been in and injuries you've sustained. Now, look, if you're somebody that has been involved in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for a firm that tells you they're motorcycle lawyers. You got to trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of this riding community for nearly a quarter century nationwide. When you've been involved in an accident, you're looking for answers. You're looking for help and direction, and sometimes there's nobody on the other end of that phone picking up. They are there for you 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it most. And the Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they're in need. Now, you see them everywhere. You see Law Tigers at all the events, whether it's in front of the shops, the clubs are out there. They're supporting everybody in all these events. They're always there by your side. And on top of that, your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees paid until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid. And on top of that, they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced because they know what that stuff means to you. You never ride alone with the Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Hey!
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mariners looking to lock up the AL West in Game 2 of their series against the Colorado Rockies here at T-Mobile Park. And when you got something this big going on, it brings out the big-time celebrities, the big-time guests that are wandering around downstairs. I'm talking about people that you see on CBS Mornings, CBS NFL Today, a guy who played over a decade in the NFL and, in fact, wore those Seahawks colors for a couple of seasons. We're talking about the one, the only Nate Burleson is here with us. How are you, man?
I'm good. That's quite the introduction. I appreciate you, showing me some love. I'm happy to be here, man. What a moment we have here in Seattle, the Seattle Mariners going big tonight. It's been awesome to watch. I'm a Seattle kid, so it's special.
I was going to talk to you about that. I mean, you're a Griffey fan. You grew up with that, and you grew up with, obviously not a ton of success with this Mariner team. So you know better than anybody how special this is in terms of what we're watching out here. I don't know where you were at last night when Naylor came up with that hit, but where were you and what was your reaction?
Yeah, I was just flying in from New York. It was a moment that I think we are going to remember for a long time. Naylor putting the nail in the coffin. But getting back to me being a Seattle kid, I grew up in South Seattle, Skyway to be exact. And I remember, looking at the kid, looking at the big unit. I mean, they had big names, played with a big game every time they got out here on the diamond. And now to see the evolution of this team, this city, the buzz that's surrounding this squad. And not only that, this isn't a team that got here by accident. This team is absolutely legit. Everything from the clutch hitting, the pitching, the magic, the energy, and the vibe. I know what a good team looks like, and then I know what a contending team looks like. And this is a little bit more than both. This is a team that has a chance to make a World Series run, and hopefully we can see that happen.
Now, were you a kid that spent a lot of time at the ballparks growing up here? Did you see Griffey in person a lot? Did you get to many ball games?
Yeah, I'm a Kingdome kid. I remember watching the early Mariners, the early Seahawks, and trying to get autographs from Ken Griffey. And every time I see Ken Griffey, even though he might look at me like a peer, I automatically turn into that 12-year-old boy. Like I'll see Ken and I'm like, yo, what's up, Ken? And he's like, Nate, how you doing? And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, he knows my name. But it's just, I'm just a fan of everything Seattle. So, I got hats and jerseys. I got a shirt at home that says my, oh my, and it's so raggedy, so torn, but I can't pull myself to give it away. When we do the spring cleaning, my wife is grabbing shirts and she picks that one up. I'm like, no. Don't you do it. I will call the divorce lawyer if you throw that shirt away. But yeah, man, I'm a Seattle kid through and through, man. I got the Space Needle tattooed on my body like 3 times. So I love Seattle.
Dang. Now I know when you're doing CBS Mornings, you're dapper, you're in a suit, you're dressed up. But if the Mariners go on and really make some noise in this postseason, might you be sporting some Mariner gear on that show? Would that fly? Would they allow it?
You know what? Yes, and of course they'll allow it. They know where my loyalty lies. So I'm gonna make that claim right now. If they make a run, you know what? Forget about making. I'm gonna do it when I get back.
I love it.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna rock a Mariners hat. I need to get one here at the ballpark. I'm going to wear it on the show, and I'm going to represent on Friday, all right? So tune into CBS Mornings so I can represent the Mariners in front of the world.
You heard that right here. On Friday, Nate is going to take to the airwaves sporting Mariners gear. By the way, you got the legend Rick Riz up here who started cheering as soon as you said that.
I know. That's the legend right there. I've been looking up to him for a long time. I appreciate what you guys do, being the best supporting actor to one of the greatest sports in the world. Your voices are golden, and it really does mean the world to me as a guy that not only watched the plays but listened to the calls while watching growing up. So I just want to salute you.
I'm going to watch Friday morning, Nate.
All right. Stay tuned, my brother.
Good luck with
that
the pitch.
golden voice. Oh, it's butter.
He's the best. He's the best. Hey, I can't let you get out of here, though, without asking you about the Seahawks. And just it's so early. We're 3 games in. We got a Thursday night matchup with the Arizona Cardinals. What's your take on what you've seen from the Seahawks so far with an overhauled offense out there?
Yeah, I feel like this team has really shocked some folks. I know we opened up week 1 and we took an L, but really lost by less than a touchdown. And then 2 convincing victories. I believe week 2 was the Steelers, and then last week just a thumping over the Saints. And what I love about this offense is that Sam Darnold is really in control of how he's delivering the ball. Last week, they threw to like 9 different dudes. And as a pass catcher, I love that versatility because you can go in week in and week out knowing that we can either light up the skies and throw the ball around, or we can hand it off to the host of running backs that we have, and the defense steps up and makes plays. I just feel like this division is tough, a lot tougher than what people thought the NFC West is going to be. And this is another big game playing up against the Cardinals. And, you know, winning these games, it's like winning 2 of them. So we'll see what happens after this week because Kyler Murray is also finding his rhythm as well. And he knows that there's whispers about him and if he can be a legitimate Super Bowl contending quarterback. So he's going to play really good football, not just up against the Seahawks, but the rest of the year. But I love what the Seahawks are doing right now. They're on the right track.
Hey, last one before we let you go, just on Darnold. Are you a believer that he's just the guy we saw that was our biggest question, is he was one guy for 6 years, and then last year in Minnesota, a 180. He was just completely different. And so far, he's thrown some nice balls out there. He's had these moments where he's looked much more like the guy from last season. Where are you at with Sam Darnold in terms of he's last year's version, or he's something in between that and who he was the previous 6?
Yeah, I don't think he's where he needs to be as far as recapturing the magic from last year. Last year, he had this energy about him where he was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it fly. I know I'm a placeholder for J.J. McCarthy, and we'll see what happens. And I think that kind of attitude allowed him to play his freest form of football. If he gets to that this year, he can do that wearing a Seattle Seahawks uniform. There's something about quarterbacks that leave a place that they were, whether they make multiple pit stops, and then land at a place where a quarterback's coach or offensive coordinator really believes in them. Sam Darnold is a prime example of that, and I know he'll recapture that magic with the Seahawks. And Daniel Jones, another guy who was in New York, got lit up by the media, the fan base, and all of a sudden he lands in the Colts. Preparation meeting opportunity. Anthony Richardson, the young fella, goes down. And here's Daniel Jones playing some of the best football we've seen out of any quarterback this year. So I think Sam Darnold is in that same position, even though he got paid by the Seahawks because of what he did last year. I just feel like he's at a point in his career where he's not listening to the critics, to the haters. He just wants to play good football. And he has a roster and a talented team that can really support that.
Listen, everybody, that's a Seattle voice. That's a Seattle man. That's a former Seahawk who you see on CBS Mornings, CBS NFL Today. Again, former Seahawk who said right here on Friday he's going to be sporting Mariners gear.
No doubt.
To support the hometown 9. Nate Burleson has been our guest. Really cool to speak with you, man. Really appreciate you hanging out and taking some time to talk with us and about your excitement about this Mariner team. And we look forward I'll be watching on Friday, man. I can't wait.
Sounds good. I appreciate you.
There you go. Nate Burleson does a great job on CBS Morning, so check him out sporting some Mariner gear on the national airwaves. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch him out there, and he's out there hanging out with a lot of the people that are here for the Mariners and hopefully watching them clinch the AL West tonight. So what do we expect from this Mariners team over the next few days? We're going to get into that. Our Mariners insider Shannon Drayer is going to be joining us as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, home for your first place Seattle Mariners.
It's why we love sports. Those certain moments, the ones we talk about for generations. Moments like this one.
Deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. Here comes Julio routing third. He'll score. 3-run double by Josh Naylor.
A win tonight, and the Mariners are division champs. M's and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
StarRentals.com.
In the Pacific Northwest, choose Star Rentals for construction equipment. With 18 locations, they deliver superior service and unmatched follow-through. Visit StarRentals.com. Star Rentals, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
The following is a paid advertisement for the Wellness Company.
Hey there, it's Michelle Smallman from Unsportsmanlike. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company. And Dr. Drew, you have something very exciting to talk about today, the medical emergency kit. Tell us a little bit about this.
It is exciting. Look, I have been fighting to try to protect the patient-physician relationship my entire career, and we have lost. I finally decided I need to be involved with people that put the power back in the patient directly. These emergency kits give you everything you need so you don't have to spend $1,200 going to the emergency room. We have a significant medical team, the medical board at TWC, and we just sat down and put together what we would want for our family, for our patients.
Oh my gosh, so anything that anyone could need is in this
and there's a
kit.
guidebook here to tell you exactly how to use it, and again, telehealth backup.
It's remarkable. It's innovative. Everyone needs to get one. UrgentCareKit.com/sports, promo code sports to get $50 off your kit. That's UrgentCareKit.com/sports, promo code sports.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at woiseattle.org.
Seattle Sports, home of your playoff-bound Mariners.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park, where the Mariners are looking to lock down the AL West with a victory tonight in Game 2 of their series against the Colorado Rockies. And right now we get a chance to speak with our Mariners insider, doing a great job all year, keeping an eye on this team. Shannon Drayer is here. Shannon, always good to talk baseball with you.
Always good to see you at the park.
Yeah, it was last night was fun. We were both there in that clubhouse, drenched in champagne. You were better prepared. You had a poncho. But just for you, as somebody who's been covering this team as long as you have, does that you're not numb to these moments? They don't happen often enough. Do you still have the fan in you? Because I'm still the guy that will yell at my TV when things are good. I'll yell at it when things are bad. I'm that irrational person in front of the TV. So those moments last night when Naylor hit that, I got choked up when he hit that. I was just emotional. But are you numb to this at this point?
In some respects, yes, and in some respects, no. I mean, we want to be there for this. We want, to see this team make it to a World Series, because you know what that will do for the city, and you also know, and you see these guys and the work that they put in and the dedication they have to it and the sacrifices that they make. When they say baseball is a grind, it is. It is. You're thinking mid-February, they show up. They play almost every day. They travel. They're away from the families, and I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for them, but it is such an unrelenting sport in that there are no breaks. And so if things are going poorly, it's hard on them. And you see the roller coasters. So, you know that is a good group of guys down in that clubhouse, and you know how much they want it. And you know how much that the organization has put into getting them there, and how everything that happens here reverberates throughout the entire organization. And we see the young kids, or a bunch of them that were at the park yesterday, and it's just something that it is just easy to pull for and want good things for. So in moments like that, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of the people that it makes happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm one of them. But, watching this team, throughout the season and going down in that clubhouse, and I'm certainly not around them nearly as much as you are by any stretch, but I was saying, to me, just being here every year and being around, they've had some great clubhouses. There have been some great guys, certainly. To me, this is the best clubhouse they've had in the Dipoto era, in my opinion. Am I overstating that? Just in terms of chemistry and just the vibe in there, the camaraderie, the connection. It feels like it was a seamless fit, obviously, for Gino. He'd been here, but Naylor just fits to me. And it just seems like everybody's there for everybody.
I think there have been other good clubhouses, and I think that there is a culture that has been firmly established for some amount of time right now, and I think there are sometimes challenges to that. That come with 162 games, that come with wins, that comes with losses, and things like that. So, I would say that this is a very, very good clubhouse, and they are what you say. They are as close, and, you hear guys talk, I love everybody on this team, and we couldn't be closer, and whatnot. And it's been a coming together. They felt good in spring training. They felt good in the middle of the season, but what has happened over the last 3 weeks, I think a lot of it comes out of the team meeting that they had in Tampa when things couldn't be much lower, and you felt it, and you saw it. I think that those things really continue to build that bond, and I think for some teams it's just a superpower. And what grabs me about seeing this group together and having that is, even though you are bringing in a Naylor, and there are players that have come in from other parts, the main core of this team, and I'm not talking 2 or 3 players, so we're talking a good percentage of this players, were either, came through the organization and came up with the organization, or have spent a good amount of time with them, or done significant development, be it at the big league level or in the minors with it. And I think that that's what makes it that much more special for them, and I think for the fans.
How much different, how much better, in your opinion, is this team versus 22?
So much more experience. They put a lineup out there, I believe it was Saturday in Houston, where every player in the lineup had postseason experience. And it's not just postseason experience, it's the run to the postseason. It is playing in the postseason. For those who were here in 22, is being disappointed at the end of the postseason. It's been the lead-ups, and a lot of them have talked about not finishing the past 2 years, and that's a big inspiration to them. But the experience on this team runs so deep. And they didn't have that in 22. And in 23, you can think about all the times you heard about Jerry Dipoto saying, I brought this person in because they've had postseason experience. Right. They would go out and try to add it. It's all there right now, and I think that's a huge difference for them. They've been there. They've done that. They want more.
How much credit do you give Dan for what we've seen in this stretch? 15 of 16. He's certainly a guy that would take a lot of heat when things weren't going well. You see it on social media. I see it on the text. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not ready for this. He's got no experience. So I'm thinking, all right, well, if you're going to put that blame on him, how much of the credit does he get when things are rolling the way they are?
I think he's had a real good finger on the pulse of this team. And I think I was talking with Justin Hollander on the road trip, and one of the things, and I think it rung true, I mean, Dan has been so humble in everything that he has done. And he's a guy that the team believes in, the players believe in because of that humility. He is a guy that just takes the losses very hard and will celebrate the wins but not take credit for them and move off of it pretty quickly. And I think that's reflected in what the team's doing too. You talk about, Cal Raleigh in particular, very humble in everything that he's, all eyes in baseball have been on him for the majority of the season right now. And he's just as happy to talk to you about a sandwich as anything else, as you know from the Cal Raleigh show. Very, very real in that regard. And I think that buttons have been pushed. The levers have been pulled. And I think that there was an interesting pace that Dan put to this season. And there was a lot of patience that was shown early. And there was a lot of, okay, we're going to play a lot of this by the book. Every now and then I might do something a little bit different, but largely by the book. And we're going to do the platoons. And we're going to give the opportunities. And we're going to give the long runways. But after the break, you started to see him do things a little bit differently. The runway wasn't as long for some players. The lineup was becoming more consistent, and now you're seeing him ask for more and put the foot on the gas. And, there's no looking back, and you got to go out and you got to take it. And also when the problem came and when they were at the lowest of the low, getting them together and letting them talk. And I think that is hugely, a big part of what we have seen in the turnaround.
Real quick before we let you go, the idea of a 2 seed and having that bye and that chance to rest Wu and the bullpen and whoever else is dealing with nagging injuries versus, well, you don't want to kill the momentum. I mean, we don't know how the season will finish. We'll see how it goes for the rest of this in the Dodgers series. But where are you at with which is more preferable? Keep it rolling, keep the train rolling, or is that rest crucial to this team's postseason run?
Yeah, I was completely team keep it rolling until the 2 seed became a real possibility. And I did. I think the momentum has been important to this team, and I think you get enough days off because they had this Monday off. Next Monday would have been off. And you want to keep a good thing going. But I do think as we see them continue to win and just where they are in their season and how focused they are on everything and an understanding of what they're doing and what is coming up, I think they can afford to take that time. And I do think that when you look at what you are most unsure about right now, it's mostly the pitching. The bullpen has been a little bit shaky here and there and has had a tremendous amount of use. And then we are still waiting. We are hoping Brian Wu was supposed to throw today. I'm assuming that he did. You're hoping that everything is right there. So I think in that regard, time is a good thing. So I think that will be the challenge, and they'll just have to figure out how to keep them fresh at that point.
Shannon, we'll hear from you in about a half an hour.
Ooh, let's go.
There you go. Our Mariners insider, Shannon Drayer. Always good stuff from her. A reminder, the Seahawks take on the Cardinals for Thursday Night Football. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. right here on 710 and the Seattle Sports app as well. Kickoff is at 5:15 p.m. You can also catch the Mariners-Rockies series finale this Thursday on the Seattle Sports app and on AM 770 and 98.9 FM. Pregame starts at 5:30 for that. First pitch at 6:40. And as always, you can just download the Seattle Sports app. It's completely free, and you got both broadcasts right there on the app. Meanwhile, Charlie Furbush is going to join us for the final half hour, talk about what he saw last night and the expectations for this team moving forward. As we continue live from T-Mobile Park, it's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Playoff berth? Check.
Here she comes, swing and a miss, strike 3. The Mariners are going to the postseason.
We in this thing, bruh. The Mariners' magic number 1. to clinch the American League West pennant.
And the fans are going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Tonight, the Mariners and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Another beautiful day outside. This is baseball weather, but it's also motorcycle weather. I love getting out on the bike when it's like this and trying to do it as often as possible while it's here. And a lot of you send in texts talking about where you like to ride, talking about your motorcycle. Some of you talking about injuries that you've suffered in motorcycle crashes. And if you're one of those, somebody that's been injured in a motorcycle crash and you're talking to law firms, don't settle for a firm that tells you that they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of the writing community for nearly a quarter century nationwide. And when you get in an accident, you're looking for answers. You're looking for direction and support. And often there's nobody answering that phone on the other side. That's not Law Tigers. They are there 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it most, and the Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they're in need. Now, you see them everywhere at all of the events. They're out there supporting all the clubs, all the shops. You see the vans, you see the tents, you see the people out there in the shirts. They are very present in the riding community. They are always by your side, and your case evaluation is completely free. There are no fees until your case settles, so they don't get paid until you get paid. And on top of that, they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced, because they know what those things mean to you. You never ride alone with Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you've been considering upgrading your siding, now is the perfect time. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. In the Pacific Northwest, moisture is the enemy. Old failing siding leads to hidden water damage, rot, and mold. State Roofing and Exteriors is a James Hardy preferred contractor with over 55 years of siding expertise. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your siding inspection today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended, balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99, and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Let's go!
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it tonight, looking to lock up the AL West with a victory over the Colorado Rockies in Game 2 of this 3-game series. They send Luis Castillo to the hill to get things done tonight. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Games going on right now, bottom of the 5th in Baltimore. The Rays out in front of the Orioles 3-0. They're in the bottom of the 3rd in Cleveland, with the Tigers out to a 1-0 lead over the Guardians in a crucial series for both teams. Top of the 6th in Cincinnati, Pirates out to a 1-0 lead over the Reds. Meanwhile, Phillies up 3-1 on the Marlins in the bottom of the 5th in Philadelphia. Yankees up on the White Sox 3-1 in the top of the 3rd. Aaron Judge with his 50th home run of the season. Top of the 4th in Toronto, the Red Sox out in front of the Blue Jays 3-0. Still to come, Rangers hosting the Twins. You've got the Mets on the road taking on the Cubs. Angels and Royals get together in Anaheim. Diamondbacks and Dodgers in Arizona. And the Astros on the road taking on the A's.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live at T-Mobile Park talking Mariner baseball as they get set for Game 2 against the Colorado Rockies. They will secure the AL West for the first time since 2001 if they can pull off a win tonight or an Astros loss, but you want to win. You want to win the AL West. And here to talk about all of that is our guy, Charlie Furbush, who's with us each and every week. How are you, man?
I'm ecstatic right now.
Are you excited?
Yes. How can you not be excited? It's like I felt like I've been walking around the city today. There's a new buzz.
Yeah.
You know?
People are fired up.
Yeah,
People
as
are
they should be.
Definitely fired up. I want to hear this highlight one more time. Get your reaction. This is a game that was going the wrong way for the majority. I mean, they're just swinging and missing like crazy. They couldn't get anything going offensively, and then a couple of guys get plunked. You got the bases loaded, and here comes Josh Naylor.
Here's the set and the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a drive deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. He's waving in Julio. Here comes Julio rounding third. He'll score. A bases clearing 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead. 4-3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Naylor comes through in the clutch with 2 outs, a double into the gap in left center field, scoring Rayleigh, Crawford, and Julio Rodriguez. It's a brand new ball game, and the fans are on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Where were you? What was your reaction?
I was unfortunately at home. Had to go do some dad stuff, take care of the kiddo.
Where are your priorities, man?
Yeah, someone's got to.
Kids, baseball, come on.
I get it. I'm here tonight. But, hearing that, watching that, I'm just, it continues to remind me what this team is good at, and it's clutch moments. They continue to get it done when it's like late in the game, and I think when you look at their 1-run record, it just goes to show that this team does not give up. They always find a way to somehow, extend the inning and give guys a chance. And lo and behold, last night, I just, once Julio got hit, and that was a little scary there. It took that 99 off the elbow. Glad he was wearing a guard. So, but then it just felt, I don't know, I could feel it. It just felt like the Mariners were going to win, and as soon as they pulled that guy and I brought a new pitcher in, I was like, this guy has no chance. Are you kidding me? They're going to put him in bases loaded. The Mariners are going to get it done again, and lo and behold, Naylor just an incredible pickup and really a game changer when it comes to this lineup.
Is he gonna? Do you see that moment becoming part of Mariner lore? The way Cal's home run that secured the spot in the playoffs in 2022. Certainly, we all know about '95. That was obviously more dramatic because of how far back in the standings they were and all the ground they made up. But is this going to be one of those moments like we're going to be talking about years from now? Remember the bases clearing double from Josh Naylor, who was only here for a couple months at that point? And
yeah, I think so. I think as this next week unfolds and then we get into October baseball here, I think it'll be more evident how important that hit Naylor had. So I think when the history books are said and done, you'll look back and you'll realize that the environment that was created because of Josh Naylor in T-Mobile Park that night was something special. It was rocking, and just such a cool moment. I mean, to be sitting here talking with you about it, I just think of all the fans, and I just think of, whether you're in Alaska, Montana, Idaho, wherever you're listening, right?
Yeah.
It's just like the Mariners have such a big region and a big number of fans in the Pacific Northwest. And I know the fans have just wanted this so badly, and I think the Mariners are just in the perfect spot to go ahead and do something special. So what an incredible win, what an incredible comeback, and let's keep the celebrations going, Bob.
Well, and you said the magic words there, October baseball. There's October baseball, Charlie. It's happening. It's unbelievable. And look, it is such a long season. We're sitting here now, and I'm going, man, that flew by. But I'm sure the players are like, man, this has been a grind, and some of the lows felt really low to the point where we're like, man, is this team going to find their way out of the playoffs? Are they going to blow this? And they've just gone on this incredible run here, 15 of 16. I mean, they're one rough night for Matt Brash away from having a 16-game winning streak. I mean, I don't know, at any level of ball if you've ever been a part of something like where a team's just rolling, but the idea that ball players could lack confidence at times, but confidence. I mean, is this just a team that's got a different level of confidence going right now, in your opinion?
100%. And when everything's clicking on the right, on all cylinders, it's I think every team would say they talk about it, in spring training and as the season unfolds, it's like, all right, we want to catch fire at the right time, right? And I think when we look back over the course of the last few months. What sticks out to me is one, all of the history that the Mariners have learned and the players that have had these kind of tough losses late in the season and how you learn and react to that and then respond when you're in it again. And I look back on that series in Philadelphia. It didn't look too good, right? I mean, it seemingly was like a pretty
they looked overmatched.
Yeah, eye-opening moment, and I think that when you look back and you look at that meeting that the players had with Dan and said, hey, we need to make a change here. We need to put the pressure on. We need to do something different than what we're doing. And I think everyone has responded so well, and it just puts them now in this incredible streak, right? And I think that you look at all the guys. I mean, I continue to give Dan Wilson all the credit in the world for keeping this group tight and keeping this group on track. I mean, he was big shoes to fill coming in this year, and he's done a tremendous job. So, kudos to Dan and everything he's done. But the players, they know what's ahead of them. They've done such a good job, really focusing on one game at a time. I think it's hard to do sometimes when you realize what's in front of you. You realize the whole history of the organization. You realize that, you really want to succeed and get it done. But, you can't win tomorrow if you don't win tonight type thing. So really got to focus on one game at a time. And I keep hearing it out of all these guys' voices, like, that's what they're focused on. Like, hey, let's just go win tonight, put ourselves in a good position to keep winning ball games and let the chips fall where they may. So they just have such a good thing going, and honestly, it's the most fun thing to watch right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'll ask you what I was asking our Mariners insider, Shannon Drayer, about. Right now, they're the 2 seed in the American League, which if they hang on to that, they've got to bye. And I'm sort of torn between. This is a team who's rolling right now, 15 of 16, and we'll see how these final games go if that continues. But where are you at between, I don't want to stop this train, versus you know what, this bullpen could use some rest. Matt, not Brash, certainly he's part of the bullpen, but Brian Wu, dealing with it, he could use some rest. Probably a number of guys dealing with aches and pains could use that rest. Where are you rest versus keeping the train rolling?
It's an interesting thought, right? I think, you could maybe argue both sides of it, but I am definitely on the side of rest at this point, right? Because guaranteeing, and I think the big reason for me is that by getting the 2 seed, or even let's get crazy and you get the 1 seed, things go really right over the next 5 games, right? And you can somehow see yourself, everything coming through Seattle. It's like, it's kind of crazy. So I think when you look at the home record and how they've played so good at home, I want as many home games as possible. So if that requires a few extra days rest, then I'm willing to, sacrifice that, because the more, and that you heard it last night, you felt it last night. If we can have more games like that here, it's a difference maker, right? And then you look at the splits just across the board. The Mariners, most teams are better at home than on the road,
right?
And I just think that's going to be an X factor for opposing teams to come in and play in this environment. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be loud, in your face, and in a lot of ways, it's going to feel like how the Mariners have felt when they go and play in Yankee Stadium, right? They're going to come here and they're going to go, wow, this is uncomfortable, right? So I think the Mariners continue to have that advantage. So if we can be on the side of rest and guarantee ourselves some more playoff games at home, then I'm all for that.
Are there, of the potential playoff teams, and we don't know who's going to be in it for sure outside of a couple teams at this point, but are there American League, looking at New York and Boston and Houston and Cleveland and Detroit, all the teams that are possible to be there, is there one you look at and say, I love this matchup, and maybe one you look at and go, the team scares me a bit?
That's a good question too. I think the first team that comes to mind right now, just because they've been surging of late and pitching very well, are the Guardians, right? I think, this is the time of year where, you don't want to play that wild card team that snuck in and won 8 of 9 or something crazy, right? And they're just kind of rolling. But at the same time, you look at the Yankees lineup, and that's no joke. The Phillies lineup, that's no joke. Or sorry, the Blue Jays lineup is no joke. I think it's hard to go one way or the other. All the playoff teams are capable, but I think when you look at it, I'd say based on how they're playing, especially the momentum they created, if they win the AL Central and overtake the Tigers, the Guardians would be, to me right now, give me the most nervousness, if you will. So
Stephen Kwan makes me nervous.
Oh, yeah?
He's one of those guys. I love him as a player. I think, at the trade deadline, remember the rumors were they were shopping him. Whether that was true or not, who knows? But he obviously didn't leave. But I was going, I hope the Mariners grab him. I hope
Imagine that, right?
I mean, they've got their outfield, but I still wanted him. And I don't want to face him. He's just one of those guys that seems to always succeed against the Mariners. But when it comes to the rotation, and we've talked about this as the weeks have gone on, and all right, where we're at right now, what would your rotation look? How would you seed them? Who would be your 1, 2, 3? Has that changed for you at all as we sit today going into Game 2 against the Rockies?
Well, I think
assuming health, everybody's healthy.
If everyone's healthy, then I'm still rolling with. Who am I rolling with now? This is good. I mean, it's for sure Wu and Gilbert, no doubt.
That's your 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think how nasty Logan can be, and for everything that Wu has done this year, those are the 2 for me most deserving. And then you kind of think about Kirby and Castillo, and it's like. Kirby kind of jumped him for me right now as of late, right? I think, but then you look at Miller and it's like, okay, well, is he better off in the bullpen? So it's a really interesting question, and I think the 2 I'm most confident in are, Gilbert and Wu, but the other 3, I think it's going to be, it'll be interesting to see, like, how does Castillo do tonight?
Yeah.
Right? I think this will be a very big moment for him to say, hey, now, if you pitch how it's the lowly Rockies here, if you pitch how you're supposed to pitch, then, it should be a good outing, and it'll make that decision a little harder for us.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting thing, and I think all of them are capable of getting that call and being in the rotation. But
well, I like that that's becoming a harder question to answer.
Yeah,
because of guys recent. I mean, what is it, 2 or 3 starts in a row for Castillo at this point, where he's been quality starts. He's turned it around. I mean, a dreadful month of August, and he has since turned that around. So now that becomes hard. Before it was like, well, we know it's not Castillo because he's just getting lit up and he's not right. That feels like he's righted the ship. We'll see if he can hopefully do it again tonight and lock this thing down.
But then again, right? It's a performance against the Rockies. So even if it goes really well, is it as good as we think? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
right. So
fair.
Maybe looking at it as the Dodgers show up, if things are still happening, okay, well, maybe we'll roll with somebody that's facing a tougher lineup.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting series. In that, let's assume everything's been settled. They know what seed they are. They can't improve or go back or anything. How crucial do you think it is for this team to end on a high note? Right. I mean, the Dodgers are a very formidable team, to say the very least. They're stacked. Now, whether they play to that level, it's been questioned throughout the season. But it could be a tough matchup, and it's the regular season. You got everything secure, your spot, all that. How crucial, just as mentality-wise, for a player is it to end on a high note?
Not that important at the end of the day, because you're in the playoffs, right? And I think then it's just, you can play the whole, you just go down a rabbit hole and say, oh, well, if they get to the playoffs and they do poorly, it must be because they ended poorly, right? Like, I don't think there's really any direct correlation there. So the whole goal is, when you're from day one in spring training to now, is like, just get into the playoffs. What ideally you win the division, right? Because you're guaranteed a spot and you can have some home games and do it that way. But I don't think that once you're in, the rest of the games really are that important. I think from a timing aspect, from hitting would be maybe the only thing that comes up to me. I think the pitchers are at this point very well seasoned and are able to throw what they need to throw effectively and be on point with a couple days off. I think the hitters will be more susceptible from a timing aspect of being like, okay, every night at 7, 8 o'clock at night, I'm facing 95, right? And I got a couple days off, so maybe my timing is slightly off. So that's the only thing. But they're going to do all the things in the background. They're going to prep themselves like they've done every year and get ready for every series. So it'll just be fascinating to see how this unfolds, and I'm sure we'll be, picking it apart as best we can. But it's just like it's perfect. You said it perfect. It's like, this is a great problem to have. This is great stuff to talk about because the team is in a place where they haven't been since arguably 2001. Yeah. Right, and about to put a banner up in right field again. I mean,
those banners are lonely out there. They need a new one.
And then I just keep going back. It's the fans, the organization, everyone that's a part of this, everyone deserves it. The players obviously deserve it the most because they're doing the work, but everyone that's been a Mariner fan for so long, it feels like it's finally coming together, and you're in such a good spot with the American League to go out and do something special.
Lefko, you don't have to hold that up the whole time, man. Your arms are going to get tired. He's showing me the clock there. So when we get closer, you can pick that up. Quickly, I want to play this cut for you because I love this. This is Matt Brash from last night, and he was asked what his view of when Naylor came up with that bases clearing double. What did he see and what was his reaction? This is great.
I mean, I was down in the bullpen cheering the guys on. Then when Naylor hit that double, it was hit right at me in the bullpen, and we just started going crazy. I don't know what I did, if it was on camera, but I was swinging my arms trying to tell Julio to run faster so we could score and take the lead there. And I mean, what a cool moment for him, and that's huge for us to clinch, and now we can go and get the division.
I love that. I was swinging my arms telling Julio to run faster. Julio was cooking. He went in standing up. There was no play at the plate. That was great. But just hearing, I don't know what I did or if I was on camera. That was just.
Yeah, you literally start freaking out, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, this is the greatest thing in the world, and because it's
run faster.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, in a lot of ways, right? It feels like a walk-off, right?
Yeah.
It feels just like they just won on a walk-off. Obviously, Munoz came in and shut the door, but that's what it felt like, right? Like he just walked him off. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, especially when things were going so poorly prior to that. Like,
I mean, they struck out 16 times last night, right?
Unbelievable.
But this team is clutch, Bob. They continue to find ways They find ways to get it done. They hit homers. They steal bags.
I know.
This is going to be a fun ride.
We hear that cliche all the time, which makes me crazy. That this team doesn't quit. There's all this fight. You hear that from Dan, and of course he's supposed to say that, but that is proving to be true. I mean, it is a cliche, but it is true. So the Mariners hosting the Rockies tonight, and the T-Mobile Park roof will most certainly be open. It's a beautiful night for baseball. That's the Mariners Roof Report, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. So we send it off to Game 2. Hopefully we're talking about an AL West crown. Do you think we're going to be saying that at the end of the night?
Let's celebrate tonight. I can't wait.
Get it done tonight.
Let's go.
And win it. Don't win it because the Astros lost. Go out and handle your own business.
Yeah, go take care of the lowly Rockies.
That's
here,
right.
All right?
You don't want to celebrate because the other team won, right?
No. They know that. They know what's at stake.
Yeah.
These guys want to pop champagne again?
Yeah.
You know?
Is there any left after last night? My goodness. All right, that's going to do it for us. I want to thank our guests today, Justin Hollander, Joey Kaufman, Ryan Rowland-Smith, Adam Ray, George Kirby, Shannon Drayer, and Charlie Furbush, all with us on the show. If you missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Have a great night, everybody. We're going to talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob.
It's why we love sports. Those certain moments, the ones we talk about for generations. Moments like this one.
Deep into the gap in left center field. Down for extra bases. Rayleigh will score. Crawford will score. Here comes Julio routing third. He'll score. 3-run double by Josh Naylor.
A win tonight, and the Mariners are division champs. M's and Rockies at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of your playoff-bound Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Since time immemorial, the Puyallup tribe of Indians have lived on what is now called Puget Sound. The Puyallup tribe is a sovereign nation of more than 6,000 members and one of the largest employers in Pierce County. Today, the Puyallup tribe continues to serve its members and community with generosity and is committed to building a sustainable way of life for future generations. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.